love for H-Town for decades. What do you mean? How many tour stops have I had in H-Town? Multiple tour stops in H-Town. Hefe, you may not have been there that day, but I was at Enron back in the day with a tour stop with over 20,000 people in attendance. An elk hitting golf balls off the concourse dressed as Monty Doubtfire. Bro, come on.
We interrupt your regular scheduled programming for this special presentation from Wildcats Radio 1290. Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down, into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hand it back to Burries. Burries going to drive, dribble the ball off his foot, got it back and slammed it home. To the top of the circle. Throw it inside Owaka, lay it up and good.
How about the initiator of offense now, multiple possessions, Koa Pete bringing it up.
And Owaka knocks it away. Steal ball loose, picked up by Aristode. Breakaway for Dwayne, slam it home. Pete, crossover, drives right. Kick it out, Karchenkov for three, drains it. There's your first Lexus of Tucson Charity 3, courtesy the freshman. Thirds over the rim, no good. James Sy for the rebound, lay it up and good.
Excellent weak side glass attack from Bryce James.
Goes inside Owaka, down the lane to Pete, who slams it home with two hands.
It is basketball night in Las Vegas, Nevada. Your Arizona Wildcats opening up the 2025-26 season against none other than the defending national champions of college basketball, the Florida Gators, who knocked off the Houston Cougars, the Big 12 champions, Big 12 tournament champions, best team last year in the Big 12 in what was a thrilling national championship game last April. And, oh, that's what your Wildcats get tonight. Welcome to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day for the first basketball game of the season. I'm David Kelly. I'll be joined on this program again this season by the captain, Kelvin Efon, as well as J.W. Madden. Kelvin will be remote with us for the first part of the day, the pregame show. J.W. Madden is here, obviously, in studio. And, wow, guys, we are here. We are back. And it is a whole lot of fun. It's going to be a whole lot of fun in this fifth season of Tommy Lloyd. Before we dive into what we expect is going to be the Wildcats year, let's tell you a little bit about what we've got coming up for you on today's show.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we'll share our thoughts on what we anticipate 25-26 is going to be for this Arizona basketball team that begins the season ranked 13th in the country. We'll take our first look at the contest brought to you by Window Depot. The Florida Gators, again, reigning national champions. It's a little bit of a different look. They've had some infusion of transfers at the guard position. We'll hear from head coach Todd Golden on all of that. Scouting report, we'll chat with Chris Berry. He covers the Gators. He is in Las Vegas, and we'll talk to him. He's with FloridaGators.com. Also, Spotlight. Who's our first Spotlight on a Cat for this season? It is Anthony Del Orso, the transfer senior, now second-year guard out of Campbell. And what are his hopes now that he's had a full year under his belt here in the Wildcat program? DK with TL. My questions to the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats. You'll have those coming up for you as well. Brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Can we beat the book today? That is also brought to you by Casino del Sol. The Wildcats are a 3.5-point underdog in this contest today. You're over under 162.5. That's just a few of the things we've got coming up for you in today's show. Guys, I'll start with you, Kelvin Efon. Here we are in 2025, 2026. What are your biggest hopes? And let's just start maybe with the early season before we even get down the line. But what do you want to see from your Wildcats in this this non-conference, which is going to be filtered with a whole lot of potential problems?
Well, first of all, we all still been working during the football season. So, but I'm happy for the basketball season getting ready to get started, even though we're not done with football yet. But the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to see is what's going to be the lineup and how we're going to incorporate all these guys. Man, we have a lot of size on this team, so I'm just interested to see how we're going to guard. Again, man, playing all these great teams early, I think is great for such a a team with so many new freshmen and new faces. Because they get a chance to learn each other before they go into Big 12 play.
J.W. Madden joins us here in studio, back for another season on the broadcast here for Arizona basketball pre- and post-game. J-Dub, early season's going to feature Connecticut, the two-time two-time champions prior to the Florida Gators winning it last year. You've got the rival in UCLA. Alabama's going to be on the schedule this year, of course, starting things off with Florida tonight. San Diego State, another team that's going to dot this schedule. Auburn will come in from the SEC to play a game at McHale Center. It won't be easy, much like it wasn't easy, and things got off to a little bit of a slow start last year before this team recovered and got into the Sweet 16. Your early thoughts on what awaits the Wildcats in this non-conference part of the year?
Love it. I mean, K-Rock's coach, Mr. Lute Olson, used to schedule as tough as possible non-con, try to get your team ready. And obviously in those days, you have a lot of more holdovers, guys who came freshmen, sat on the bench, waited their turn. By the time they were juniors, they were in the rotation, maybe even starting for the team. We're not in that era anymore. A lot of transfers. Last year, DK, you mentioned a little bit of a slow start. Anthony Del Orso, Trey Townsend transferring in big minutes in that rotation. Took some time for those guys to get to know each other. I'm looking at this roster. I'm seeing an upperclassman at shooting guard. I'm sorry, at small forward, at point guard, at center, and at power forward. And what you really need to tackle a schedule like this, DK, is you need upperclassmen to help those younger players find the level they're going to have to reach. They might have played some big games for the U.S. national teams. They might have played some big games in high school championships games, but it's nothing compared to what it's like to go into stores, what it's like to play against the Bruins in a rivalry game, and what's like to face the defending national champions in Florida in game one. So it's going to be bumpy at times. It's not going to be perfect. Anybody out there expecting perfection, that's not what this is about. But like K-Rock said, learning to play with each other this time, these next 3-4 weeks is really just about figuring out the rotations, figuring out what you need to work on, and communication, figuring out if everybody's on the same page. And what better challenge to start out with than with the Gators? What a great program that Golden's built there, and really looking forward to this game tonight.
What is Tommy Lloyd's big picture for his team? Does Tommy Lloyd even have a big picture? He was asked about it this week in a very interesting way. And let's hear from head coach Tommy Lloyd.
The first game of the year, what's your criteria and rubric for evaluating the performance on Monday?
Well, I really don't have a rubric. This isn't English 101, so I'm sorry to break that to you. I mean, maybe I should give one. Like I told you guys before. I mean, this is a season. It's a journey. It's not a singular instance. It's not just an event. So this one event plays a much bigger role into it's a smaller part of a much bigger season. So for me, I'll evaluate it just on what it looks like and how it feels after we play. And I love doing that with our team. I love staying in that moment. I love connecting with the staff. Maybe the next day and kind of figuring out what direction we feel like we need to take things. I mean, to me, that's a lot of the fun and coaching is figuring that stuff out. So I'm not acting like we have all the answers. We've prepared how we usually prepare to start a season. It's a single game against a really good team. Let's see how it goes, and then we'll kind of form some opinions and start making some adjustments from there.
Kelvin, do you have a rubric about what this season is going to be for Arizona?
Now, what does that word mean?
J-Dub knows. He's the smart one here. J-Dub will tell you what it means.
I think the answer is no. None of us have a rubric for what the season is going to be so far. But I like, Kelvin, what Coach said right there. I mean, he has a plan. He's put together a roster, but we won't really know what they need to work on until they have some issues on the court in these 40 minutes.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's what these type of games are for. I mean, you're not going to learn that against Emory or against each other at practice. You have to get against the best teams in the country so you can get your kids' attention to see what guys are going to step up in the moment and then what guys are going to, shy away from the moment. So I think these games are important because you have a lot of guys on this team that I'm sure want to play major minutes, but we're going to find out in game action if they worthy of that time.
Toby Awaka is one of the guys that is coming back for the Arizona Wildcats. He was a transfer last season in here from Tennessee. Did not play in the first exhibition game, had 18 points and 14 rebounds in 21 minutes in the second exhibition game against Embry-Riddle. Comes back for his second year at university off a Big 12 honorable mention. A performance last year where he kind of cemented himself as one of the best rebounders in the country. He was ranked 4th nationally in offensive rebound percentage last year, according to King Palm, averaging 8 points and 8 rebounds just a season ago. Did he watch the Florida Gators win the national championship last year against Houston?
Yeah, no, I didn't really watch any games for real. I was still kind of salty after we lost. But yeah, I mean, again, we know who they are. They're the reigning champs for a reason.
Yeah, another guy who probably didn't watch a whole lot of Florida's run in the Final Four either was Jaden Bradley. I caught up with Jaden and asked him just about that loss to the Duke Blue Devils and how long it took to get over falling in the Sweet 16.
Losing to him twice, that definitely kind of hurt. I feel like both times we had a decent game plan, great game plan going in, and we just didn't execute it fully. But it's definitely been on my mind all summer, kind of using that as motivation. I've never been past Sweet 16 in my career, and it's my last year. That's definitely strong on my bucket list. Not only for me, but just for Tucson and for the Arizona program. So I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and we got a long season before that, but that's something definitely that's on my bucket list.
Where do you have to be better in your mind?
For sure, just I think with everything, my shot, staying consistent, finishing, getting my free throw percentage up, just everything on the court, more efficient, get my numbers better, encourage my teammates more, just everything on the basketball court that I can do. I got to do it to a high level.
We've seen the last 2 seasons anyway, and this year will be included, some really dynamic preseason scheduling that you guys have had 2 years ago when you played all those ranked teams and were able to navigate that pretty well. Last year where you guys kind of struggled a little bit in that preseason. What was it about when you guys found that groove last year after that tough stretch that you felt like allowed you guys to get to where you wanted to get and get into the Sweet 16?
Yeah, like you said, we got a tough schedule. I feel like we got the hardest schedule in the nation, and then I think that's what you want. As a player, you want to play the best versus the best, and especially going into our Big 12 gauntlet that we got. So it's not going to be a sleeper there. So just starting off with a tough one is going to be good. But like you said, last year we didn't do too great in the first couple games, but we kind of found it, and Coach Lloyd would just keep telling us, take the losses, turn them into lessons, and we kept pushing, kept grinding, and then when we found a couple wins, we started getting rolling. It wasn't pretty, but then we started rolling, and we started off Big 12 play, undefeated for a couple games, and then we just got to finish. So now we know what it's like. We got our first year under the Big 12. And, we want to come in and, try to win a regular season and also a tournament championship.
Jaden Bradley back at that point guard position, guys, makes you feel a lot more comfortable when you have so many freshmen coming in. And again, it was the number 2 recruiting class in the country, this freshman class. But to have a veteran point guard that's going to be running the show, I think is going to make a lot of folks that follow this team much more comfortable about what's happening at the opening stages of this season.
Yeah, way more comfortable. I mean, you have a guy that played at Alabama, then came to Arizona, and has led this team a couple of years, and one of the top players, one of the better defenders, and a good assist guy. Now going into his senior year, the undoubted leader of the team. So yeah, you have that guy as your point guard. It's going to help everybody out. Brandon Berry's had to go against him. I mean, they practice together, but he has to go against him when he leads the first team guys, when Bradley is playing with the second team guys against him. So he's learning. Berry's is learning, and then you got a veteran, Evan Nelson, kid from Tucson, the third point guard right behind them. So, if anything falters, foul trouble, or Berry's isn't getting it done, you got a senior guy coming from Harvard, smart guy that could lead your team as well. So I think they're in good hands as far as with the point guards.
Yeah, guys, I mean, the last time that the U of A went to an Elite Eight, TJ McConnell was a senior point guard. I mean, it's an old adage. It's cliche at this point. Like, you need upperclassmen guard play in big games, period, but especially winning 6 games in a row in March. So if that's the goal, is to get as deep as possible, having your team led by a senior point guard who's been a 3.5-year starter. He started his first 14 games in his freshman season before Quinton's, wasn't it? K-Rock took over. So he came in here and was a de facto starter from day one. So there's no better feeling for a true college basketball fan than having an upperclassman, multiple-year starter leading the team in his senior year with a bunch of talent around him. Jaden Bradley, like, you asked him what he needs to work on, DK, and he said everything, because of course he's going to say that. What Jaden Bradley needs to do is be himself and play the way he has been playing, keep his mistakes, limit his mistakes, and just make the easy basketball play. And those guys around him, a lot of finishers on this squad, Kelvin. So if he just plays like a solid steering the ship senior point guard and leads the team can go a long way.
All right, let's real quick meet a couple of the incoming freshmen. We'll hear from a few of them today on our pregame show. The top recruit in the class, number 8 overall, Koa Pete, a freshman, 6'8", out of Chandler, Gilbert Perry High School. Koa Pete talked about adjusting to this first college season.
It's been great when you have guys like Tobe, Mo, Jaden Bradley, and Delarosa. It makes it easy, honestly, learning from those guys because they've been through what we're going to go through. So, I mean, just playing with those guys has been great, and just honestly just getting to know them off the court has been even better.
And just 2 spots behind him on that national rankings listed, number 10, guard Braden Burry, 6'4", out of San Bernardino, California. This is the guy I'm maybe the most excited about coming into this season. And Braden, during the preseason, talked about the veterans that he's been learning from, guys like Jaden Bradley and Evan Nelson.
Just being a sponge, honestly, just open to learning new things, learning like the difference between like the physicality, what to look for on ball screens. And he's a senior now, so he's been here for 3 years, but it's gonna be his 4th year. So just he's been there, so I'm just learning after him and Evan, great guys.
What's one thing already that you can take away from Jaden during this time?
Just like different pace, I would say like pickups, real important to like pick the ball up with 2 hands, playing off 2 feet, staying under, don't get pressured.
There you go. Braden Burry's Koa Pete, 2 of the freshmen in that number 2 class of 2025. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Wildcats, number 13 in the country, 3rd ranked Florida today in Las Vegas. Tip-off coming your way at 5 o'clock. We've got you, I should say, till 4:30. Let's get our first break in. We'll come back, take our first look at the Florida Gators, and have a whole lot more. Kelvin Efon is here. JW Madden as well. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks, Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. November is here, and if you've got holiday travel plans or you're just trying to cross town through the crazy road construction, Jack Furrier has great news with our biggest rebates of the year. Get back $160 to $220 on all Michelin brand tires, including smooth riding, long-lasting Michelin Defender 2. Check out jackfurriers.com for even more November specials. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the local choice with great service and 14 award-winning locations. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960. We're here to get you there.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thana Ogden Nation.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' Cay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' Cay is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Looking for quality windows without the wait? Come to the Window Depot. We carry a huge selection of Milgard windows, in stock now and ready for pickup. Need something custom? No problem. From new construction to full home replacement, we'll help you order the perfect Milgard windows built to fit your space, style, and budget. Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, the Window Depot makes it easy to get the windows you need fast. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you and see why we're your Milgard window experts.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
National championship is in the balance. 13 seconds left. Florida leads it by 2.
Uzan gonna go.
Uzan, give it up. Cryer, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, Sharp.
He walked, he can't touch it.
He can't. 1 second, and it's over. Florida is back on top of the college basketball world. Championship madness.
Yeah, that was agonizing. If you're a Big 12 fan, watching the Houston Cougars not be able to get a shot off at the end of the game. How many times have we seen that happen in college basketball? It's happened to the Wildcats and a couple of those Elite Eights. Just you think it seems like it's just so easy to get a look at the bucket and get a shot, but so many instances teams just can't seem to accomplish and get a look at the basket.
Not only that, DK, but in the 2 games that Arizona played versus Houston, it was Miles Uzan in the final moments who made bucket after bucket after bucket to get those wins for Houston. He came up huge in big games. Just that moment, little awkward jump dribble, and couldn't pick it up again.
All right, let's dive into Arizona, number 13 in the country versus number 3 Florida.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com.
Third national championship of this century in basketball for the Florida Gators. They were back-to-back champions in the aughts, so they know a little bit about defending a title. In fact, before Connecticut did it a few years ago, they were the last ones to do that, winning back-to-back national championships. And Todd Golden is their head coach, a young guy from right here in the state of Arizona, grew up here, played some small college basketball, got his first gig out at the University of San Francisco, and found his way down to Gainesville, Florida. He has let his kids know that they are absolutely going to be targets this season.
For our group this year is that it's going to be a lot harder than it was last year. That's just the bottom line. We, for lack of a better term, I think we kind of snuck up on people last year, especially kind of in the beginning of SEC play. After we had some really good road wins, like at Auburn, at Bama, I think people realized, what our team was capable of. But last year we went into the season, I think, ranked 24th preseason, whereas this year I haven't seen a publication where we're lower than 5th. And so we do have that target on our back. I think one of the things that's been really good so far is that these guys understand that. We have talked about it a lot. I know our staff make sure they understand, like, last year we were kind of the fun underdog team. That's not going to be the case this year. We're coming in with a lot of expectations, but we think of that pressure as a privilege. We'd rather have the target on our back.
Xavier Lee from Princeton, Boogie Flan from Arkansas.
Yeah, those are guys that we're going to get into as well. A couple of transfers that have come into that program. I mentioned Todd Golden from Phoenix, grew up, in that. He's only 40 years old, so he was growing up in that era when the Wildcats won their national championship. Came out this week and said, hey, I absolutely remember that team. His mom went to the University of Arizona, so he's got Wildcat blood in his family. So a special game tonight for him, for sure. Now, the Wildcats have played a couple of exhibition games this season. One against St. Mary's, one against Embry-Riddle. Florida did not play any exhibition games in their run-up to this game tonight, so there's no tape currently on this version of the Florida Gators. Tommy Lloyd asked this week if that was a concern to him, that there's 2 games of tape for his team, but no games of tape for his opponent.
You go in with the information that's provided to you, and you do the best job. But again, let's focus on the main thing. The main thing is it's the first game of the year, and your team has to be ready to play. So to me, that's where our eyes, effort, and energy needs to be focused, is more on ourselves and how we approach it. And, I don't think we're a slouch. I think that, we force the other team to make some decisions, and, just because, they've seen us play a couple times, I don't know. Maybe they got it figured out. Maybe they don't. We just got to go out and play the game.
Is there an advantage, guys? Either way, you think? Obviously, them having seen us 2 games and some of the things that the Wildcats are trying to do versus the Wildcats not having seen any of what the changes are on the other side.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so for the because we played so many guys in those games, so many different lineups. He started different teams. I mean, I don't know if we saw the starting team yet. I don't know. I'm going to find out today myself. So yeah, they saw our guys. They saw the abilities that our guys have. The offense is the same as when he first got here. There's nothing that's really changed about the offense. So he don't care if you know high, low, swing the ball, pick and roll, right?
Right.
So yeah, so I don't think he's worried about any of that. So no, it's not too much advantage because it isn't like the St. Mary's game was some good film, but besides that, I think it isn't much advantage there.
Yeah, not at all. I think the style that Arizona plays, like K-Rock said, is a flow motion. Keep your defense off balance to begin with. What they would be scouting is the individual players. What's Koa Pete all about? What's Braden Burry's all about? They've got film of the 4 returning rotation players from last year's Arizona's team. So those exhibition games didn't show much. And as far as the coaching staff for Arizona, Florida's going to come in, guys, with an all-American front line. We saw them win 6 games on their way to a national championship. There's a ton of film. Now, whether or not it's Boogie Flan and some of the other guys who have transferred in, that might be a little bit of a wrinkle. You're not seeing Clayton Jr. out there this year. But other than that, I don't imagine that Coach Golden's going to change up much. Kelvin, if you're scouting a team that's heavy set-based stuff, like the way UConn runs their stuff, it would make a big difference because you wouldn't necessarily know what kind of wrinkles they had worked on in the offseason. But against a motion flow offense, it's really just a matter of the principles of defense and reading and reacting to what the offense is doing.
Exactly. You said it right there. I mean, they're just playing basketball. They're not really running a bunch of different sets. They're just getting out there and moving and making the right decisions with the basketball and bringing a guy in like Flynn and Xavier Lee. Those 2 guys that are excellent scorers, guys that can facilitate the basketball. So you expect them to have a lot of similar abilities to the team from last year.
You mentioned Boogie Flan. Let's hear from Boogie Flan on his excitement to play this opener against the Wildcats and why he decided to make Florida his new home.
I feel like it's been great. It's a great start. Got our first test Monday. I would say we're very excited, as a competitor, another team being competitive. I feel like, we look forward to this and just look forward to go out there and play.
What was it like coming out of the portal for you and just, what made you choose Florida?
Actually, I wasn't planning on coming back to college, and then I met with Coach Golden, and it kind of changed my mind. So there's a better opportunity here, and so I decided to come back.
What did he say to change your mind?
I mean, when I came here, it didn't feel like much of a visit. It felt like a family. From the jump, they welcomed me here, so it's kind of just excited to come back here.
Now, Boogie Flan Florida did have a secret scrimmage against 17th-ranked Illinois this year. Flan, however, did not play in that scrimmage. He's been dealing with a little bit of a health situation during the early part of this team. But, guys, he comes from an Arkansas team that what they got to the Sweet 16 as well last year. So this is a young man that's played at a high level in the SEC, on the other side of the SEC in this conference. And so that's a great get for them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he was a top 5 recruit coming out of high school. Obviously, Coach Calipari left Kentucky, went to Arkansas. That's what Coach Cal does. He brings in those number 1 guys. K-Rock, Kelvin, to me, the funny thing there was when he was asked what the pitch was from Coach Golden, he didn't say what it was, but I know what it was. It was, you see Walter Clayton Jr. over there? That could be you. You want to be that guy? That's the role we need filled. Can you do that, right? And with the NIL these days, I mean, that's a young man, Kelvin, who clearly has his eyes set on the NBA. That's his goal. He wants to get there as quick as possible. What Florida did last year and that system they're running, I mean, with an NBA front line like they've got, him moving over there and sliding in where Walter Clayton Jr. did his damage, late shot type stuff, and just being the facilitator, he showed some real signs of an explosive athlete in his time at Arkansas last year.
Yeah, he's a guy that definitely I didn't think was coming back. I thought he was NBA for sure. He's a one-and-done guy in this era of NIL. He gives you an opportunity because of the money that he can make through NIL. That will be basically probably a little bit more than his rookie year if he get drafted late. So, yeah, getting him back and getting him signed up over there just, makes so much sense. And as you said, he saw the way that the guy played last year, and now he knows the platform that they're going to be on, knowing that every team in the country is going to be playing them like they're the national champion, that if he comes in and play well, he can follow in the footsteps of Clayton.
Flynn last year, I should say, averaged 14 points, shot 38% for the Razorbacks. And then, of course, there's the other transfer, Xavier Lee, who comes over as well. Lee said that he was excited to have the big man Thomas Hawk as a teammate.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly didn't even think he played that well in the scrimmage, and I looked at the box score after, and I was like, oh, I guess he did. So I think that's a testament to how, impactful he is. If, he didn't really knock down any shots, but he still had, stuffed the stat sheet. So, it's just super active and, impacts every play. So it's definitely great to have a guy like that.
Now, Lee, not from as high profile a program, but played at Princeton. I don't know if he was on the floor that day when they knocked the Wildcats out. I'll look that up. But over 1,000 points in college, so and a pretty skilled veteran playmaker who it'll be interested, again, different level here, but a guy that potentially has the ability to lead this ball club and get them back to where they want to be for sure. All right, 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on the program. Let's pause 10 seconds here for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the season opener for your Arizona men's basketball team, ranked 13th in the country, taking on the reigning national champions and number 3 Florida Gators tonight at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is a place that the Wildcats have had a whole lot of success. Well, Las Vegas as a whole, having played a number of games there during the the Pac-12 era, the Pac-12 tournament era, and it's a place that we'll have to ask Tommy later when we chat with him in DK with TL a little bit about maybe if there's a possibility we might see more games for the Wildcats in Las Vegas, a place that it's always been known as McHale North. The Gators come in again with a couple of transfer guards. Let's hear from head coach Todd Golden on Xavier Lee and Boogie Flan about what his hopes for them are in his lineup.
Just kind of the next step of the maturation of our program. Last year, it was our backcourt, our veteran backcourt, and our front court were kind of the younger guys that flew under the radar and kind of obviously played a lot better than people expected, but didn't have that pressure every day. Now, for me, I'm putting the pressure on these guys every day to be the best they can be, along with Ruben and Micah. And we want to try to make it easier on Xavier and Boogie coming in. But the reality is these guys know what it takes. They've been in the program when we've won at the highest level, and my expectation is for them to be the leaders of this team this year.
There you go. 2 guys that are coming in, and again, that we talked just about at every level now. You're going to have multiple guys, whether it's freshmen, whether it's transfers. You're going to have a lot of different guys coming in every year. It's how quickly you can get those guys to assimilate and get you into the positions to be able to win college basketball games. All right, Florida and Arizona, much more straight ahead as we continue to dive in to these 2 teams opening up the season in Las Vegas.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Did you spend money on your AC this summer? My friends at Rightway will give you back up to $3,000 for those repairs.
That's right. No matter who did the repair, we'll buy it back for up to $3,000 towards the purchase of a new heating and air system.
No repair bills this year? No worries. Get 0% financing and no payments for 18 months. $3,000 trade-in for your old AC. 10-year parts and labor warranty. Plus a free system upgrade.
Have an aging heating and air system out of warranty? We'll inspect it absolutely free. Call Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today. 520-201-8220.
At the Window Depot, builders and contractors don't wait weeks. You get what you need today. Factory direct windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, it's all in stock and ready to go at wholesale prices. Whether you're tackling a remodel or a multifamily project, we've got job site quantities and no membership required. Our windows are proudly manufactured and assembled in Arizona with small business service and big box selection. Order online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. November is here, and if you've got holiday travel plans or you're just trying to cross town through the crazy road construction, Jack Furrier has great news with our biggest rebates of the year. Get back $160 to $220 on all Michelin brand tires, including smooth riding, long-lasting Michelin Defender 2. Check out jackfurriers.com for even more November specials. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the local choice with great service and 14 award-winning locations. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960. We're here to get you there.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden. Time now for a look at today's Wildcat opponent. The Scouting Report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there.
All right, and tonight's opponent is the reigning national champions of college basketball, the Florida Gators. Pleased to be joined by Chris Harry. He writes about the Gators in-house for FloridaGators.com. And Chris, appreciate you taking some time to join us from Las Vegas. Set the scene, set the mood. What are things like on the Strip today there in the desert?
What are things like on the Strip? It's weird. I mean, the Strip is like it is every other day, I guess. A lot of activity out there. I went on a walk early in the morning there. I saw a high-speed police chase at about 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, great.
So I guess people are ready for college basketball season to start, right?
There you go. Nothing like a little high-speed chase in Las Vegas. Do you anticipate that there's going to be a good throng of Gator Nation that'll come out for this game today?
Well, I mean, obviously it's going to be a predominant Arizona crowd, and I think Todd Golden is the coach of the Gators is okay with that. He likes to play these neutral site games against big time opponents. I mean, later this year they're playing at Duke, they're playing at against UConn in Madison Square Garden. So this is just kind of the tip off to the whole thing. I think it's great. Obviously, it's a great venue, great environment. The only the only game among two ranked teams in the first day of college basketball. It's probably appropriate that Florida is in that mix.
We're chatting with Chris Harry. He is the senior writer for FloridaGators.com, and he's been with them since the early part of the last decade, 2011, if I'm not mistaken. And so you've seen a lot of Florida Gators basketball over that time. And Todd Golden coming in here, and I thought that was maybe one of the cool stories of last year. Here's this young guy from the state of Arizona, grew up out here in the desert, small time college player, but at St. Mary's, and a quick ascension to the top of the coaching game. What's allowed him to make this ascension so quickly? What stands out about him as a coach that obviously he was able to have the success at San Francisco and quickly translate that to Florida?
I equated a little bit, and they're not the same. Don't get me wrong or anything, but his sense of confidence and belief in his team reminds me a lot. In the 90s, I was a beat writer, covered the University of Florida football team with Steve Spurrier. And if you are on the other side, it's cockiness. It might even be arrogance. But if you're in the building, it's a belief, and it's a confidence factor. He's very, very close to his team. He's married to a system that he really, really believes in. He does not deter from it. I mean, he's always going to play two bigs at the same time. He's wants guards that can put the ball in the basket. He's going to play through those bigs. He has a blueprint. He's recruited to it magnificently. He's been great in the transfer portal, obviously. With some of the players obviously that won national championships last year. But he's very, very popular in that locker room, and just he gets along with guys. He listens to the same music as them. He's one of those guys that kind of just kind of blends in with people and feels like he belongs. But he knows when to drop the hammer when that needs to happen. Also,
now you were there during the Billy Donovan era as well. That at the tail end of that, are they similar guys? Are they vastly different guys?
No, I wouldn't say they're similar. Obviously, they're both highly, highly competitive. Billy. No, I wouldn't say Billy is 60 years old now. People think of Billy the Kid, and the guy's 6. He left. He's been in the NBA now for 10 years.
Yeah.
So here comes Todd Golden, who last year became the youngest coach to win a national championship since Jim Valvano in 1983. So he's much closer to the age of the players than Billy Donovan was when obviously he left to go to the NBA here. Mm-hmm.
We're chatting with Chris Harry. He is the senior writer for FloridaGators.com. It's your scouting report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. You mentioned the transfers he's been able to meld into this program. We were just talking in our last segment about the two transfer guards that are going to be at the forefront for Florida this year, in Xavion Lee from Princeton and then Boogie Flan out of Arkansas. Obviously, Boogie's been there with a big program that went deep in the tournament last year. Xavion may be coming from maybe not as a big situation, but what do you think's going to be his lot now that has this opportunity to step in and play big time Power 4 basketball?
Yeah, and just to remember now, those two guys are stepping into a situation where you may have the best front line in the country. All four bigs from last year's team are back, a top 5 offensive rebounding team, and they're reconfigured some things because Thomas Houck now is going to play the 3 position, and I think he's perfectly capable of doing that. Anybody who watched the Elite Eight saw him hit 4 threes against Texas Tech in that game, in that wild comeback. We know he can shoot the ball. But yes, to your point, the microscope is on Boogie Flan. The microscope is on Xavion Lee. Xavion Lee, he's going to see a different level of athlete than he saw in the Ivy League right out of the box. I think the Florida played FIU in a scrimmage in a close scrimmage a couple weeks ago. He didn't play very well at all. Boogie Flan played great, but then Boogie Flan did something, lower body kind of injury, had to sit out a week. They had to hand the ball to Xavion Lee in their close scrimmage against Illinois, the 17th ranked team in the country. He responded, 17 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover. He was terrific. So you got two guys, both of which averaged more than 5 assists a game last year. The last guy to average 5 assists a game in Florida was Andrew Nimhard in 2020. So you have two unselfish players that are also playmakers that can also score the ball. How it all is going to blend in, I think, is something that everybody, especially Gator Nation, wants to see. But it's got a lot of possibilities. We just got to see how it all kind of plays out.
Now, and one of the things we talked about early in our show today, Chris, and you mentioned this just now, the fact that you guys played a couple of secret scrimmages. Wildcats have played 2 exhibitions. Wildcats have always played exhibitions. Is it customary for Florida not to play an exhibition, an open to the public exhibition?
In my time, I don't think Todd likes them. In my time, Mike White played one time up in Jacksonville, but it's mostly been almost exclusively close scrimmages. They played Miami a couple times, played North Carolina a couple times, but the scrimmages that go for charity or what have it, they have not played those here. So. Yeah, that you could say that's something of advantage. Plus, obviously, Todd played at St. Mary's, so he's probably got some additional intel from the coaches there relative to the Arizona Wildcats. But, well, what does that really, really matter? You still got to throw the ball up, and that Arizona team is very, very talented. You got the healthy big guy. You got these 2 McDonald's All-Americans starting. It's as fascinating as what Florida's backcourt is going to be. Let's see what these 2 freshmen for Arizona are how they're going to respond in their first go around, not only in this incredible venue here.
It's all that SEC money y'all got down there. You don't need to have those 2 extra gates.
Yeah, sure.
Chris,
we don't have Kentucky money, I guarantee it.
There you go. Chris Harry is our guest. He is the senior writer for FloridaGators.com. It's a scouting report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. So what was the run like last year, Chris, to the national championship for this club? At what point did you think that was a club that was capable of making such a run?
Well, they started 13-0. There were 3 teams, in the country that went into January unbeaten. They were all out of the SEC. One of them was Tennessee. Tennessee was number 1 and came to Gainesville, and Florida beat them by 30 points in the second. After just losing to Kentucky on the road. This was the first time Florida had ever beaten a number 1 team at home. So you kind of saw that, but when they beat Auburn on the road, that kind of I think woke some people up to how good this team could be. Elijah Martin did not play in that game, and they won anyway. They won, I think, by 9 points. I think they're up by 21 in the second half at one point. But the later the season went on, and they fought through some injuries that happened. What really stood out was the shot making of Walter Clayton Jr. I put what he was able to do along the lines of terms of single tournament run. Kemba Walker, Carmelo Anthony, Christian Laettner, Danny Mann. He literally put the team on his back. When they start saying stuff like, hey, no one had ever scored 30 points in an Elite Eight and a Final Four game consecutively since Larry Bird, Walter Clayton does it. When your name shows up in a sentence with Larry Bird, as only people would ever do it, that's pretty amazing.
Well, we love these matchups when we get a couple of bigs on the floor. Obviously, Moteas Krivas for Arizona and right. Micah and logged in for you guys. What type of big is Micah? What does he do well?
I tell you what, if you recall, he had suffered just an awful compound fracture in the SEC championship game in 2024 and basically sat out. He was going to sit out all last season until Florida had some injuries, and he forewent his redshirt season to come back. Literally said, I think this team will win a national championship. And he played 16 minutes a game, and they won the national championship. Now he's in the best shape of his life. He's up to 265, less than 10% body fat, and he doesn't start. So you got him, you got Ruben Chinyalu, you got Alex Condon, and you got Thomas Houck in that front court. What they did last year was just pound away. A lot of times front courts took advantage of them and built leads. You watch the NCAA tournament. Florida came back in 5 of their 6 NCAA tournament games. they just wear you down as the game goes on, and the kid from Arizona is going to have to deal with that a little bit. We'll see if that manifests itself again, if that's going to be what happens this season. But he's going to have to deal with those guys. They're going to be switching on him, and they're going to be coming after him relentlessly, one guy after another. And again, Florida's got 4 of those guys they can match up with.
Two bigs, 2 Australians as well. Anthony Del Orso from the Wildcats. And, of course, you guys got Alex Condon on the other side, coming back after averaging 11 points, 8 rebounds last season. Where does Todd want to see him grow his game?
Really everywhere. Because, I mean, he got hurt. He missed 4 games in the middle of the season. Florida ended up winning all 4 of the games with him out because Thomas Houck played so well at that 4 position. Where Alex would struggle some was against some of the really, really good bigs he faced later in the year. Derek Queen from Maryland a little bit. He also got hurt in that Maryland game, which was in the Sweet 16. Janai Broom kind of banged him around a little bit, but again, with the help of those other bigs, he played really well down the stretch. Same with the Houston game. He had a pretty damn good game after a slow start against Houston. So, finishing around the rim better, just being as active as he has been, and, maybe stepping out and making some 3-point shots. I think the NBA guys want to see that, and Alex has been given the freedom to do some of that in practice thus far, and I think you're going to see him probably take 2 or 3 3-pointer attempts a game, I think.
All right, Chris, whenever we talk to somebody hanging out in Las Vegas, we always have to ask them, what's the best place you've eaten so far?
The best place I've eaten so far, gosh, I don't even. They had a team meal up at some. I don't even remember the name of it. Up at a golf course that overlooked. That was off in the desert, up in a mountain that with the city in the distance and the lights. It was absolutely beautiful. The golf course was absolutely beautiful. We didn't play it obviously, and it probably would have eaten me alive if I had tried to. But we don't get out here a lot. Florida doesn't travel west a whole lot. We are coming to San Diego for a holiday tournament over Thanksgiving, and they did come to San Francisco in the second round of the NCAA tournament last week. And so these trips are few and far between, but they're certainly appreciated. And this is a really cool place to have a venue like this. I'm really excited for the game this afternoon, like you guys are, I'm sure.
There you go. All right, Chris. Well, we appreciate you letting us know a little bit about the opponent on the docket today for the Arizona Wildcats, the reigning champs, the Florida Gators. Enjoy the game tonight, Chris.
Have a great season, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Chris Harry, FloridaGators.com. That's your scouting report for tonight.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The scouting report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. Here to get you there. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or RoyalKia.com.
Nobody does big screens like this. At Roadhouse Cinemas, every movie is massive with thundering surround sound and food and drinks delivered to your seat. Then, just steps away, Roadie's Lanes Games and Gastropub turns game day into an event. Huge screens with every play in full view. Hit the lanes, throw an axe, battle it out in laser tag, crush it in the arcade, or crazy darts. Movies, sports, food, fun, all in one place. Roadhouse and Roadies, 2 epic experiences, 1 unbeatable destination. Corner of Grant and Swan.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
Discover Rocking K, a community designed by nature, built for you. Embrace the beauty of the Rincon Mountains' high desert foothills. Explored natural open space, a network of connecting trails, and a community park. Bordering Saguaro National Park, Rocking K is conveniently located to our region's major employers and nationally recognized Vail School District. Tour 10 model homes by 4 award-winning builders and discover why more people are calling Rocking K home. LiveRockingK.com. Proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Cactus RV, offering the most affordable pre-owned RVs, travel trailers, and toy haulers in Tucson. We offer consignments on RVs, travel trailers, trucks, cars, and SUVs. Sell without the hassle and let Cactus RV do it for you. Cactus RV is also a local independent service center, so they can help keep your RV, travel trailer, or toy hauler in pristine condition and ready to sell or hit the road for your next adventure. A true one-stop shop. Call now, 888-2244. Visit cactusrv.com or visit us on Romero, just north of Prince.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a 3 out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip-off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Aristo, deep 3 out there, and he drains it. James Sy for the rebound, laid up and good. Down the lane to Pete, who slams it home. Burry's in traffic. Lean and shot in the lane is good. Karchik off to the bucket. It is good, and he's fouled.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
Hour number 2 of our pregame show, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Jump on board. Shoot us a text at 520-848-1290. I think we've got a couple of texts as well. We've had a gentleman download the app today. You can do that. Send a text to 520-848-1290, and you can download our app to listen to the games. Our guy Fred Scheib is on board, as he always is, during basketball season back in New Jersey. Fred says the Nick Johnson block chasing down the opposing player from behind to save the game at the end of the Christmas tournament in Maui 10 or 11 years ago, was that against Florida? I'm not sure I don't remember if we played Florida in Maui, Fred, but we'll have to look into that. I'm thinking that might have been another team that we played on when Nick Johnson did that. But I'll let you know that for sure here coming up. All right, hour number 2, we're going to have DK with TL. My questions this week to the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. We'll also, that is brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union, by the way. We'll check in with your college basketball scoreboard on this first night of the college basketball season. Spotlight on a cat will be Anthony Del Orso. Anthony sat down with us last week and talked about tonight's game against the Florida Gators. Can we beat the book? The line tonight, U of A getting 3.5 points. You're over under 162.5 tonight as well. Our view from courtside, Brody Dryden, Arizona ESPN Plus broadcaster who called the game against St. Mary's in the exhibition season, is in Las Vegas for tonight's game. We'll check in with Brody and see what he's doing while he hangs out in the city that is Vegas, or is it New York? Which city is it never sleeps? Is it Vegas?
New York.
No, that's
Sin
York.
City.
That's
There's
Sin City.
Vegas has a lot of nicknames.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't sleep there much either.
No, they really don't. They really don't. Also, our keys to the game with Royal Automotive and our Rocking Case starting lineup. We'll have that for you coming up a little bit later as well. But first, time to hear from the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats.
For all the questions you need answered, it's DK with TL. Our David Kelly asks Tommy Lloyd questions, and you get the answers. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
Yeah, remember when DK with TL was sponsored by nobody, and now we've got Hughes Federal Credit Union on board as a sponsor. This will be the 12th game that Tommy Lloyd has coached an Arizona team in Las Vegas. And so far, actually, they had the numbers a little bit wrong earlier this week. Tommy is 10-2 coaching this team in Las Vegas. The last time, however, was the Pac-12 tournament, the final Pac-12 tournament in 2024, and the Wildcats lost, you might remember, by 8 points to Oregon. But before that, they had, in fact, they've lost 2 of their last 3, but they had won 9 in a row to start Tommy Lloyd's tenure in Las Vegas. And a lot of those wins came over ranked teams. Number 4, Michigan, number 13, UCLA, number 14, Indiana, UCLA again when they were number 2. And you'll remember that double overtime thriller against Florida Atlantic a couple of seasons ago when the Wildcats, or when they were ranked, I should say, number 14, and coming off a season in which they had gone to the Final Four. It has been a great place for Tommy Lloyd. Will it remain that way? And is he thinking about the fact that he's had a whole lot of success there in Las Vegas?
I'm 0 for 0 this year. So I don't think past history is going to be an indicator of what will happen this year. So yeah, obviously there's good proximity for us, and our fans love going to Vegas. And from what I've heard, it's going to be a great crowd. I've heard it's pretty much a sold out venue. Going to be an exciting opening night of college basketball. I'm sure, Florida's fans are going to be there as well. They're excited, being the defending national champs, as they should. And, I think our fans are excited to see our team play as well. So I'm expecting a great atmosphere Monday afternoon.
Tommy, I know you've talked in the past about, wanting to continue having games up in the Phoenix market. Is Las Vegas a market you'd like to routinely have games as well?
For sure. I think, now, all those Pac-12 days way back when, we had a great presence in Las Vegas. So, something, Las Vegas is a great city. It's a great neutral city that fans from both teams or all teams will travel to. So, and obviously it's an entertainment capital of our country. So yeah, anytime you can, have a exciting basketball game there and, give your fans a few other things to do besides watch a game, I think that's pretty cool.
Do you have a specific message for incoming freshmen like Braden, like Koa, like Ivan, who are going to be playing in their first college game?
Nothing outside the ordinary. These are really good basketball players who've played on big stages before. This is it's another big stage, at a different level of basketball. So, I'm not going to act like it's everything equates, but, these guys, for freshmen, they're seasoned. that they didn't just turn up and end up being a good player. These guys have been in the limelight, and they've performed in the limelight and been very successful.
Tommy, we've talked a lot about what Braden Burries could be in the red-blue game. He was able to hit some threes. In the first exhibition game, he showed a really nice mid-range jumper, and then in the last game, he really drove to the basket with a little bit of aggressiveness. Do you see him as a three-level scorer? Would you categorize him as that?
For sure. I mean, he's a dynamic offensive player. I mean, I see him as a guy that, when the ball's in his hands, he's going to make the right decision for the team, whatever that may be. And the right decision, could be him scoring at any one of those three levels or making a play for someone else. So he's somebody that, I'm sure over the course of the year is going to grow in that role. And we're very comfortable when the ball is in his hands.
Ivan's a guy that has a very great grasp of the English language coming in. Does that give him an advantage over some of the international players that maybe are struggling with English their first year here on campus?
Sure. I think the other thing, Yvonne, is, he's been coached in English. I think Dwayne, is the same thing. I mean, those two are both, obviously almost perfectly fluent English speakers, and they're smart guys. So, there really hasn't been a lot of, language barriers with them. Ceedy, we're still, crossing that bridge, but Ceedy's really, really smart, and he's learning fast. So it's been fun to watch him, just, how fast he learns. He's like, I'm blown away. Like, I've lived in, Tucson for, going on my 5th year, and, my Spanish hasn't gotten a lot better, Burria, I mean, I know what that is. Burro, I know that's also a burrito now, but it's pretty limited. So I'm impressed when somebody else like Ceedy can learn as fast as he does.
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
Burro, he's got the food ones down for sure, does Tommy Lloyd, in terms of his Spanish.
He'll do C's next week.
Yeah, that's better than me. Exactly. I don't know that I know a whole lot or how to speak it as well. But guys, I asked him, one of the questions I asked him is because my top takeaway from the 2 exhibition games, and I said it earlier, I'm most excited to see Braden Burries play. I think I saw him do a lot of things in those 2 games. Again, exhibition games, but he did some different things. He shot the 3 in the red-blue game, which this team is going to need, because right now if there's one major concern I have right now, it's where they're going to get their perimeter scoring from. Braden Burries could be one of those guys. I loved his touch on the mid-range jumper. We haven't had a lot of guys like that could shoot from the mid-range. Nick Johnson kind of reminds me, speaking of Nick Johnson, reminds me of a guy that was able to maybe shoot like that from the mid-range back in the day. And in the last game, I saw him get to the bucket. So I think he's going to be able to do all of those 3 things, and I'm excited about that. Kelvin, do you think he can be that type of scorer for this club?
Yeah, I think offensively that'd be an easy transition for him. I mean, I think he's going to have to go against some tougher defenders, but Jaden Bradley's going to help with that a little bit, because you're going to have to guard him. And then having Del Arso over there as well as a guy that can score, he can shoot the 3 ball, you're going to have to defend those 2 guys. So, they give Berries a chance to go one-on-one with guys, and I think he's a guy that can knock down threes at a high rate. And, of course, he can score in the mid-range and get to the bucket. I think the bigger thing is going to be on the defensive end of the court. I think he's going to have to really lock in so he's not the weak link on that end, because, or Del Arso as well, because you can't play both of those guys together if both of those guys aren't, playing well, defending the other team's guards on that perimeter. So, to me, it's going to be his defense that's really going to tell us, what type of guy he is.
Yeah, I mean, just go watch the 44-point state record CIF Open Division State Championship game results he had last year. And what you'll see, DK, is a young player who doesn't get sped up. And the biggest skill, number one, at being 6'4", over 200 pounds, he's got the body for it. But the biggest skill you can have as a shooting guard position at that age is calm and not being sped up by the defense that's in front of you. And watching Braden Burries' highlights, I mean, my biggest takeaway, Kelvin, is that he's not worried as much about what the defense is doing. Really tight space, works really well in that mid-range. Even the mid-range dribble pull-ups, which is a really tough skill to learn. Don't see that at a young age. So when it comes down to him being able to get his shot off, now you're talking about going up against guys who are 5-6 inches taller. Obviously, he stayed at a small school. So maybe the competition he saw night in, night out is not going to be the same he sees in the Big 12. But like Kelvin said, it's really at the other side. The defensive positioning, how you stay in front of your man, Are you picking up cheap fouls by reaching in too much? I am never going to be worried about Braden Burry's scoring at any level of basketball. I think he's just that smooth and that good. His playing time, DK, and how much he's on the court in big pressure-filled moments is going to come down to, can he stay in front of his man as well? But love not only his shooting from mid-range and from deep, DK, but really, really inept ability to find open cutters. Got really good court vision, really high basketball IQ. Just super impressed with the young man.
All right, he is one of the freshmen on this team, another talented freshman in this class, which was number 2 in the country behind Duke, is big man Dwayne Air Stowed, as we labeled him during media day. Dwayne talks about college, coming to college as a freshman, and the learning curve that entails.
I've been preparing for like a year prior for college this year. But, once you come here, the schedule, school, and everything, like, you don't know what it is until you're in it, and how fast the game goes. Because, keep getting hit by big guys like Toby and Mo, and that takes energy out of you. So I'll say that. But, like, I've always been mentally, ready, for everything that comes my way.
Yeah, you definitely can get your wind knocked out if you're running into a pick by Toby Owaka. We've heard a number of guys say that.
Well, we talked about that 3-4 months ago. Like a welcome to college basketball moment on this squad. And that takes place in Richard Jefferson Gymnasium, just trying to get around the bigs that they have on this front line, because those are men, Kelvin. Those are not boys coming into college that they're trying to get around those screens. So they got a little bit of a taste of the physicality coming their way.
Yeah, and then add in Jaden Bradley as well. I mean, he's a full-grown man, and he's a physical New York guard. A lot of people forget that about him. He's one of those New York gritty type of guards, and and so having to go against him as well, all the bigs that they're having, I mean, they're getting a crash course on what big-time basketball is going to be like.
Another of the freshmen, Ivan Karchenkov. This is maybe the wild card, and we'll get into Ivan a little bit later, but big man out of Germany. Russian background as well. Ivan on his goals for year number 1 in college.
I think I'm going to bring a lot of experience and playing with older guys, more experienced guys. Just the calmness and experience, I think that'll be my biggest advantage over other players.
What are your goals for your first season here at Arizona?
My goal is to make the top 4 and hopefully go all the way.
I love the international players. A couple of years ago, I think it was Ben Matherin was here. I want to go to the March Madness,
right?
Not the NCAA tournament, but the March Madness. And for Ivan Karchenkov, it's like it's not the Final Four, it's the top 4. The top 4. I love it.
But K-Rock, he said it, man. I mean, like the way that they do it in Europe where they pick 13, 14-year-olds to come play in your club lower division teams, and he played for Bayern Munich. I mean, that's the biggest club in Germany. So you talk about a guy who's obviously always had the size. He said it himself, Kelvin. He's been playing against grown men in a professional environment for the past 4, 5, 6 years. It's a different era. He's not coming out of grade school, guys. He's been playing with one of the top programs in the entire world. Yeah. So he knows what's up, Kelvin.
Yeah, and and a lot of times, that's why I say AAU in the travel basketball get a bad rep, because you're trying to compare that to Europe basketball, and these guys are on professional teams, not on just the local pop, or the regular guy that's trying to put teams together and go get kids seen. So yeah, man, these guys come in basically professionals from Europe, and again, he's used to the physicality, and he also understands how to defer. That meaning pass the ball and understand how to fit into a system, because that's the way that they play over there. They play more a team-oriented type of game, not one-on-one. So, yeah, he has a lot of advantages in having the opportunity to play with those pros.
And he got that body too, DK. He's ready to go.
Oh,
All right, let's take a look at the college basketball scoreboard on opening night.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
All right, night number 1 of the college basketball season. As you heard Chris Harry mention, this is the only game involving 2 ranked teams tonight. Number 3, Florida, and number 13, Arizona. In terms of the Big 12, let's start there, let you know who else is in action tonight. West Carolina is on the road at Cincinnati tonight. Houston, number 2 in the country, will host Lehigh at the
Look out, Mountain Hawks. You're in trouble.
Center. Exactly. Iowa State will welcome in Fairleigh Dickinson to Hilton Coliseum tonight. Number 19, Kansas, home to Green Bay. Hofstra will visit Central Florida. Baylor and UT Rio Grande Valley will square off tonight. New Orleans and TCU will hook up down in Fort Worth. San Jose State going to visit Utah in the Huntsman Center this evening. Colorado will host Montana State, and 8th-ranked BYU will also start their season in Las Vegas in the second game of the Hall of Fame series tonight. So there's 2 games out there tonight, Arizona and Florida in Game 1. BYU and Villanova will play in Game 2, scheduled to start at 7:30. So a couple of Big 12 teams in action tonight out there. In terms of the rest of the top 25 other teams, number 5, St. John's will host Quinnipiac. 4th-ranked Connecticut and New Haven will play tonight. I think that's pretty much it in terms of teams from the top 10. Carolina, number 25 in the country, will take on Central Arkansas this evening. That is what things look like on your scoreboard to open up the college basketball season.
The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
All right, when we come back, we'll shine a spotlight on one of your Arizona Wildcats. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day rolls on after this timeout on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Acclaim Drain and Plumbing Solutions, Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 11,000 five-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rocking K with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah, it's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
She's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock and Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock and Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Back top, Del Orso, catch and shoot. Got it! Exactly what the coach wants.
A set call to try to spring Del Orso for three, work to perfection.
Bradley drives to the right corner, out to Del Orso, another three is good.
Small
That's
lineup.
6 threes for Del Orso, a new career high.
Small lineup for Arizona, 4 guards and Tobe. That's a shooting lineup, especially with Delhi.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest question mark of this season, just based on what we've seen in the 2 exhibition games. As we welcome you back to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I'm David Kelly. Kelvin Yvonne is here, as well as the J.W. Madden. We are watching, looking up on the screen here, watching the Arizona Cardinals arrive for their Monday night game tonight in Dallas. We'll keep you up to date on that as well as we go throughout the evening tonight. But we've got college basketball for you as well. It's the Florida Gators, the third-ranked team in the country and the defending national champions, taking on your number 13 Arizona Wildcats tonight in Las Vegas. The Wildcats in 2 exhibition games did not shoot the 3-ball well. They were 4 for 16 in the game against St. Mary's, 4 for 13 in the game against Embry-Riddle. So what's that? 8 for 29, if my U-High math is correct. Are you concerned, guys, about the fact that the Wildcats did not shoot the ball that well from distance? And have you identified who the distance shooters on this team are going to be? I said I believe Braden Burries, Kelvin, can be one of those guys. Obviously, Jaden Bradley has shown the ability to shoot the 3, but I don't know if you want your point guard taking a ton of threes in this offense. So who are those guys going to be on this team?
Well, the guys that have to be is Berries, Del Orso. Those are the first 2 guys that I would think of. Bradley as the senior, I mean, he has to be aggressive, shooting some threes. That's the only thing that is going to be able to open up the rest of his game, because I think if you're a team that understands basketball, you're going to double him anytime he comes into the lane and try to force him to be a playmaker because of his finishing abilities, or you're going to sag off and force him to knock down a 3 or 2 to force you to play him. So, yeah, I think those 3 guys are going to, take the bulk of that 3-point shooting and then trying to play from the inside out so they can do it from a catch and a shoot instead of off the dribble. To me, those are going to have to be the guys as far as that concerns for three-point shooting.
Yeah, I think I think you nailed it, K-Rock. I think the inside out is going to be the go because you're talking about Mateus Krivas and Tobe Awaka predominantly are two gigantic bodies they're going to try to establish on the post. As Coach Lloyd said time and time again, their offense is going to be revolve around penetration and trying to finish at the basket. Kelvin Efon likes layups and free throws, right? The modern game, you might watch the NBA and you see 4 or 5 guys out, but not a lot of players at the college level can shoot like that. What you need, DK, is you need the players with the green light to take open looks. You're going to see a lot of drop coverage. You're going to see a lot of big sagging off of their man at the three-point line because they were willing to settle. You just said the numbers, willing to settle for that three-point shot. So the question is, can you knock it down with confidence? Are you going to shoot it with no hesitation? Because that's what the coaching staff will ask from you. The numbers are going to be what they're going to be. This Arizona team is never going to be the 2014 Golden State Warriors. They're going to try to play inside out, and any three they get is bonus. But when you're talking about Del Orso, we just heard 6 threes in a game. He's on the scout. You cannot leave him in the corner. You cannot leave him on the wing. I think JB's biggest skill, Kelvin, is getting right at the rim, but he's capable. We've seen him knock down threes at a great clip. So to me, it really just matters if those guys defer. If you have an open shot, shoot it, because that's going to make the defense come out and guard you next time you catch. That opens it up for the inside.
Let's hear if Tommy Lloyd is concerned about his team's shooting from behind the three-point arc.
No concerns. 2 games, small sample size. Let's see where it goes. I mean, last game, I don't know, maybe we could have shot a lot of threes, but, how the game played out didn't demand that. So, so getting off a lot of threes wasn't the focus. But, I feel a lot of comfortable. I mean, I've seen our shooters make a lot of shots this offseason. So, I feel like over the course of the season, the numbers will play out like they should.
All right, so Tommy is not concerned. Tommy's never really too concerned about anything, so we'll see how that all plays out. All right, before we hear from one of the guys that's going to be charged with making three-point shots on this team, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
All right, let's hear from Anthony Del Orso.
Our pregame show, Spotlight on a Cat, is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Anthony Del Orso, second season at the University of Arizona. He's your Spotlight on a Cat, and he just really talked about this season, the expectations for this team, and what this Wildcats club wants to be all about as they go into this season opener against Florida.
Yeah, I think just, talking to guys through it, there's always going to be a learning experience. First game of the year, it takes time. I took time to, get confident and get, that first few games under your belt. So I think everyone's going to have their moments where, they start understanding the game a little more. And it's my job, it's Jaden's job, Tobe, Krivas, us guys who have been through that. It's our job to kind of pick them up when they, get down a little bit. And we'll just test it as the season goes on. I don't think there's any, ceiling or expectation they have. I think they just go out there and be themselves.
What have you heard from teammates or coaches or whatever about the fan support that Arizona gets up in Vegas?
Yeah, I experienced last year, basically anywhere we were, whether it's Vegas or anywhere, we get a lot of fans, and that's a great part of being a U of A. The fans are dedicated. They've supported us through, rough losses, big wins. They don't really, for the most part, they don't really care really how the year goes. They're always kind of there, and that's something that we're grateful for. But obviously, in Vegas being so close, I'm expecting a huge turnout.
Anthony, what do you see when you look at Florida and their style of play?
They're well coached. Obviously, they got a great resume, winning the Natty last year. They play pretty disciplined basketball. They have their sets they go to. But, they're a tough team. They've obviously got the identity of winners and having that. So they're a good team. We got to, be ready for all their actions. But at the end of the day, it's, who wants it more. So I think that's really what it's going to come down to.
Do you have a message for the freshmen as they play their first game, and obviously they're playing it maybe on a much larger stage than just an average season opener at home?
Yeah, I would just say be themselves. Don't go into the game overthinking anything. Just play. It's the first game of the year. We're going to have plenty of games where, to this capacity, big stadiums, big crowds, big opponents. So I just got to let them play and trust their instincts, and they'll be just fine.
What's one thing that maybe you or some others on the team learned from last year going through a non-conference like this to prepare yourself for this non-conference? Because you guys went through your ups and downs through a tough schedule like this.
Yeah, I think it's great to have a schedule like this that, challenges you because it's only there to help you and help you prepare for the Big 12, for March Madness, for all the things that you want to achieve. Um, Last year was a great test to us. Like I said, we had some ups and downs early on and then kind of found our stride. But I don't know if we hadn't gone through those lulls early in the year, I don't know how it would have looked for us in the Big 12 season. So there's always positives to take away, even from negatives. So I think this is a great, decision that the coaches have made to schedule these opponents because it's only going to help us get better for the long run.
Just ask Tommy about this, but you think Florida, you think size. How do you think your teammates in the front court match up against the size that they have down in the paint?
I think we're totally fine. I mean, every team has big guys. Every team has, strong physical dudes. I think the Big 12 is as physical of a league as you could possibly get. So I don't think we should have any issues in terms of that regard. We've obviously got to understand what they're doing and what their game plan is and areas that they could exploit us, in the strength kind of area. But then again, they've also got to worry about us on offense because we're one of the most, forceful teams in the country. So I think it goes both ways, and it's just who's going to understand it. And like I said before, who's going to want it more. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Do you guys view this as an opportunity to assert yourselves on a national stage?
Definitely. I think it's always anytime you go out there against, a quality opponent like Florida, you always have a kind of chip on your shoulder and you want to get that, bragging rights almost. So I think that's something, but I think more than that, it's more to just prove to ourselves that, the things we've been doing are on the right path and we have a real chance at this.
Anthony, when you look at Braden Burries' game, how would you categorize what he does best right now?
Yeah, he's a great player. I think, obviously, he's got to find his feet like everyone else out there, but I think he has, great instincts. Offensively, he's got good instincts. He understands, when to look to attack and when to look to pass. That's a great thing. Sometimes you can get caught in one or the other a little too much and get in trouble, but he's done a great job of that so far. Defensively, he's done great. Just kind of locking into new concepts. I mean, you got to understand these guys have come in and they've had to learn a whole new system. It's not high school ball anymore. There's a lot of depth that goes into kind of the scouting report and all that. So I think him in particular, but all of them have done a really good job in kind of adapting to that.
What's the scouting been like for this, being as they haven't had any public exhibitions and, they've got to, they're changing a couple things around. How do you guys approach it? And have you watched film of what they did last year or how are you, especially because in your case too, for example, they moved power forward to 3.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty big. You're going to be probably seeing him too. How does that all hit you?
Yeah, we've looked at their last year film for the most part. Watched their tournament run and their national title game. And you kind of get, tendencies from players and what they've done, over the course of a whole year. So obviously they've had some changes, like you said, the power forward to the 3 and all those sort of, there's always going to be some changes, but we've also had changes as well. But that's what you get with the first game of the year. It's all a time trial thing. And as you go on, eventually by game 5, everyone will know what everyone's doing. So we don't really look into those kind of fine details as much. I think it really comes down to the first game is who's going to execute their own plan the best, who's going to, do what coach is asking of your own team more so than how do we make sure we're on top of what they're doing.
Hey, Dell, I was wondering, the NCAA is now going to make teams do player availability or injury reports for the tournament. And I think the Big 12 is as well. And I think the reasoning they're saying is that they're trying to protect you guys from having pressure from gamblers or whoever asking you behind the scenes, hey, is so-and-so going to play or how's your ankle or whatever. I mean, have you ever felt that kind of, have you had people contact you about that kind of stuff to get information like that?
No, I've never really thought about it really any that way. I kind of think about it as, if I'm hurt or if I'm feeling a type of way, I'll talk to that with my trainers and coaches. And I think everyone has the best interest of us at heart, and gambling and bettors out there aren't really the priority. If someone's hurt and they can't go, it's for their best health interest, not any other reasons. And if they can go, I don't see a person who wouldn't want to play if they can. So I think it's pretty simple. It's just based on, your own individual health.
Right. I was just wondering if anybody contacted you and said, hey, what's going on? That kind of stuff, just asking about it,
Yeah, I think when you're at this stage, everyone kind of wants a bit of knowledge. I mean, it's hard to differentiate, what their actual agenda is. A lot of people, some are genuinely interested, some are, looking for an ulterior motive for whatever reason. But, it's almost too hard to tell. You just got to be a normal person and, kind of keep your information to yourself and just, keep things pretty level-headed.
That today's Spotlight on a Cat. Brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com. JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or jtautoaz.com.
Rush into Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun this holiday season for the $100,000 Holiday Gold Rush. Now to December 28th, Club Soul members can strike it rich. Drawings are Fridays and Sundays at 6, 7, and 8 p.m. Win up to $1,000 in free play when you match 2 prize cards. And every 100 slot or table points earned gets you another shot at the gold. Rush in today, only at Casino del Sol. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Hauk is a sophomore out of Pennsylvania with a 3.
Hauk, hard drive, and he slips inside for the deuce.
With a steal and the galloping Hauk.
That's one of the guys. Could that be the guy that the Wildcats will need to be most concerned with tonight? We'll have our pests coming up here for you very shortly. Thomas Hawk played in 40 games, all 40 games last year, but only started 5, coming predominantly off the bench for this team last season, where he averaged 10 points scoring, 6 rebounds, while shooting 49% from the field, 35%, or 34%, I should say, from 3. He is going to be moving to the wing this year and playing a lot of small forward for Tom Golden's team. Let's hear from Tom Hawk, Haugh, pronounced Hawk. Let's hear from Tom Hawk on moving to the small forward position.
I've been practicing out there. I've worked really hard at it this summer, getting out there, just being a consistent jump shot, being able to come off a little bit of ball screens and stuff like that, making the right passes, making the right plays. So just being out there on the wing a little bit.
There you go. And in terms of his head coach, Todd Golden, on why he wanted to make this move?
Obviously, Tommy did a great job kind of backing up Kondo at the 4, but also obviously playing 25, 27 minutes a game down the stretch for us, becoming one of our best players. Yeah. And like Kondo, Tommy had a decision. He could have been in the NBA this year, getting drafted. And, for him to come back and give us another opportunity to coach him and lead him, we wanted to provide another opportunity for him to elevate his game and create an opportunity to become more of a more complete prospect before going to the NBA. It's my job to find a way to get our best players on the floor. And we wanted to make sure that Tommy and the rest of the 3 other guys were out there as much as possible. So playing a little bit bigger, giving him an opportunity to get out on the wing, I think is going to give us an opportunity to be the best team we can be all year.
So a guy that played a lot of big forward last year is going to be playing some small forward this year because he can shoot the basketball. How difficult a transition is that, guys, to maybe make that move to the wing versus maybe being a little bit more of an inside post player?
I mean, Kelvin, 30 years ago, very difficult. Modern times, there is no position for him in the next level unless he shoots the 3. Like at his size, at 6'9", 220, 225, he's got a lot of fluidity. I'm really impressed with how the young man moves, Kelvin. But unless he moves out and starts playing a little bit more facilitator's role, being able to catch and shoot off of penetration from those guards, that's what he's going to be asked. So I hear his coach Golden saying, hey, Thomas, here's an opportunity for you to work on the things you're going to need to have a long career in the NBA. Very active, good rebounder, 2.5 assists from the power forward position as a sophomore, only 20 minutes a game at the time, Kelvin. I mean, I really like his overall game. Difficult for some. Could you imagine DK Tobe Awaka dribbling and playing facilitator out on the wing?
Yeah, no.
Right? So some power forwards, it might be harder to transition. He reminds me a little bit of a shorter Lowry. I mean, he's a couple inches shorter, but he has that similar style of game. Not quite the knockdown outside shooter that Lauri Markkanen is, but similar fluidity and has the potential, Kelvin, to be a really solid 3 and a gigantic 3 at 6'9".
Yeah, for sure. And the way most of these teams play, you're playing 4 out, 1 in. So he's playing on the perimeter already. He doesn't really have to put the ball on the floor. A lot of the times it's more handoffs and just being able to swing the ball, because a lot of times with big guys, his defender is not going to pressure up. So a lot of times we use those big guards or those big wings as release guys, where you swing it to them and you know that they're going to be able to make another pass because the defender is not going to be tight. So I don't think it's going to be a big deal. He's going to take some threes because they have 3 other bigs that could rebound the misses. And again, you have to have guys taking those shots. So I don't really think it's going to be a big deal. Again, is he going to be able to play against teams that play small and play quick, or they're going to go zone? I mean, if they're going to play man, then we're going to find out real fast is they're going to be able to stick with that big lineup.
It's a great point you make about his passing, because in a lot of the highlights I've seen of Thomas Hawk, he's really in that Tabellus role where he catches 12, 15 feet out, turns and faces, and finds cutters over the top. Because at 6'9", he has the ability to generally see over any defender, and especially at that 3 position, Kelvin, you're not going to see a lot of guys with the height and length to bother his ability to see over the top of the defense and make passes to cutters or guys on the block.
All right. Who's going to be that player from the Florida Gators that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight? Let's find out.
Who is the pest that the Wildcats need to be free from? To win today's game, the Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
All right. We'll start with Kelvin. Kelvin, who is that pest of the game today? Who's that guy the Florida Gators have that could cause us the most problems?
I mean, for me, man, Boogie Woogie Flan, man. I mean, having a guy that can create and make plays. Yeah, Boogie Woogie, man. I mean, because he gets that ball, man, and he can make things happen. And we all know, you watch college basketball, it's great to have the greatest bigs, but you need guys that can score and create and make things happen, and he brings that to the table. And I think that's going to be a great challenge for our guards today, trying to contain him. So, yeah, I mean, you want to keep Jaden Bradley out of foul trouble because if he get in foul trouble, we're going to really find out early what we have in our other guards.
All right, well, I'm going to throw you – I think I'm going to throw y'all a curveball on this one. Remember a couple of years ago when the Wildcats got beat near the end of the season at home by Washington State here at McHale Center? One of the big dudes that day for the Cougars was Ruben Chenyelu. And he is now on this Florida Gators club. He had 12 points and 11 rebounds in that game when the Cougars came in and snuffed out an Arizona team that at that time was ranked 4th in the country here. I think that one of them, I don't know if that was senior day or was right near the end of the season. I remember that. So I'm going to go with Ruben. I'm going to go with old Ruben from our Pac-12 days, seeing that Arizona jersey and remembering one of his best games as a freshman playing college basketball. Maybe he can relive that tonight. That's a guy I think I'm going to be concerned with tonight. Another guy, again, they got out of the transfer portal with the breakup of the Pac-12, and he has found himself a home with these Florida Gators. Last year, a bit player on the roster, scored 238 points and had 262 rebounds starting in all 40 games.
I think those are both great picks. I don't generally pick 6'11 guys for the pass, but I'm going to go with Alex Condon. It was another big for the Florida Gators. And the reason why is because he's just one of those do-everything guys. 4 steals against Houston in the national championship game, guys. Coming into his junior season, he's going to be asked to do quite a bit more, but that's a guy, you worry about those guys who are capable, Kelvin, of getting into a little bit of every pocket, right? And that's a guy, especially he's a solid defender. Those guys from Australia really like to match up. The bigs from Australia, long list of names of guys who will mix it up inside. He's a guy I got to watch out for, and definitely if he makes a big impact on this game, it's going to be a long night for the Arizona Wildcats.
All right, there you go. Ruben Chenyelu, Boogie Flan, and Alex Condon, the 3 guys that we think most could cause problems for the Arizona Wildcats tonight in their season opener against the Florida Gators.
That's our best of the game. Brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number. If you'd like to get in on the program today, you can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We are streaming today's show on a number of different platforms. We are streaming video on YouTube, so you can always watch the show on YouTube for sure. You can also watch it on Twitch if YouTube is not your preferred method of watching things on your computer. Also, you can listen to the show as you always do at wildcatsradio1290.com. Guys, when we look at this Arizona club, I mentioned obviously that this was the number 2 recruiting class, number 2 freshman recruiting class in the country coming in. And we heard from some of the guys that are at the forefront of that. One of the guys I said that when we talked about the last game, Embry-Riddle, and I wanted to see a little bit more of maybe some of those younger guys. One of the guys that I wanted to see was Sidi Gaye, who got a chance to play about 12 minutes in that game. I don't know if any of those younger guys or those young bigs are going to be guys that we're going to see a whole lot of this year. When you talk about Sidi Gaye or Mabil Mawat, do you think either of those guys will play much, or maybe even both those guys headed for potential redshirt seasons?
I personally think both of those guys could be headed for a red shirt. I mean, with, Waka, Krivas, Core Pete, those guys are going to demand a lot of minutes. I mean, they could get in foul trouble, so you need another guy, and that's where you go with, Ivan and Aristod. So, yeah, man, it's going to be tough for them to get some minutes with those guys. And with the frame of those guys that I just mentioned, those guys could play four because of their sheer girth.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kelvin nailed it. I think you're talking about upperclassmen at center, regardless of whether or not it's Mateus Krivas starting at center or Tobe Awaka or what combination that they play together. Koa Pete is going to you need Koa Pete on the court. I mean, he's probably the most versatile of any player on this roster relative to what his skill set is and his body size and his body's type. Beyond that, guys, how about even Karchenkov? Right? Like what minutes
that's the wild card.
What minutes does he get, DK? Because he's clearly a guy who's strong enough to slide into that 4 spot. So you're talking about 2 legitimate centers. You're talking about 2 legitimate power forwards. Again, both freshmen. I think I would love to see some of the young players get in. And we always know that coaches talk about their 9, 10 deep in the fall. And then when games start playing, Kelvin, it's always down to a tight 7, 8-man rotation and really tough to crack when you're talking about some of those names ahead of them.
Yeah, always tough to crack. So, yeah, that's why I said today, one of my biggest things I'm looking for is how many guys they play and how, what's the size and position of those guys. So I'm just interested to see how that all happens, and we're only going to be able to see once game times happen.
Yeah, and you mentioned Ivan Karchenkov, and I think, to me, that's my one wild card when you look at the potential bench. He's the one guy I think could potentially see a lot of playing time, but he's also that guy I think you might see him certain games, you might not see him at all in other games. I think he could be one of those swing guys where, if we need that extra big in there, if somebody gets into some foul trouble, we might see him play double-digit minutes, but there could be those games where, he's relegated to maybe a few minutes off the bench late in the game if the Wildcats are up late. But I definitely think that's a young man that's going to see. I would say in terms of the other 2 who are probably candidates for red shirt, I would say he's probably not a candidate for a red shirt.
And the other guy we haven't mentioned is Dwayne Aristode. Obviously he's going to be more of a wing, but he's 6'8", 220, guys. I mean, that's what he's listed at anyways. That's a big freshman as well. He's going to be playing the 3. But, Kelvin, if you've got a guy with that kind of stature playing the 3, like Anthony Delorso is a couple inches shorter, maybe not quite the height to see over the top. If you're talking about a guy like that, and especially at the rebounding spot, because we know how important rebounding is, especially once you get into conference play, I wouldn't be surprised, Kelvin, to see Dwayne Aristode in rotation as a big 3, and then you don't necessarily have to have such crazy size at the 4 with the 2 centers they've got on the roster.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was saying. I think both of those freshmen could play some 4 because of their physicality and just their size. Both of them are 220 at least. So I think those guys could play some 4, especially in the Big 12 versus some of those versatile bigs that we have to play against in that league for sure.
All right, let's hear from Jaden Bradley on this number 2 ranked incoming freshman class and his impressions of them so far.
Just showing them what, Arizona basketball is about, and how Coach Lloyd, wants his ship ran, and, not overstepping them, just, showing them, what we do on a daily basis.
What have you seen from them? What have stood out about them in this short amount of time?
They love to work. They love to get better, very coachable. Gym rats, can really play at a high level. Physical, they fit right in, with the system. And then, we're still building stuff and putting stuff in. But, once we get everything, they're going to be, all very special for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to that as well, to see how it all plays out. It's a team that many people have said is built to win in the Big 12 with a little bit more grit. And we mentioned the size, and then we'll kind of see if that comes to fruition starting tonight against the reigning national champions. All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We've got 2 hours in the books. We've got 1 more hour to go. We've got our view from courtside. We're going to talk to Brody Dryden coming up here as well in this final hour of the show. If you'd like to get in, 520-848-1290 is the number to do so. What are your hopes for Arizona basketball as we start this 25-26 season? JW Madden is here. Kelvin Ifan as well. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Acclaimed Drain and Plumbing Solutions, Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
At the Window Depot, builders and contractors don't wait weeks. You get what you need today. Factory direct windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, it's all in stock and ready to go at wholesale prices. Whether you're tackling a remodel or a multifamily project, we've got job site quantities and no membership required. Our windows are proudly manufactured and assembled in Arizona with small business service and big box selection. Order online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Uh-oh, another plumbing disaster. Don't panic. Call the pros at Acclaimed Drain and Plumbing Solutions. From clogged drains to full-blown repipe repairs, our expert team is fast, getting repipes done in one day. Reliable, professional, and always ready 24/7. When water won't behave, Acclaimed saves the day. Call 520-200-1089 or visit acclaimed-drain.com. Acclaimed Drain and Plumbing Solutions. Trusted, local, acclaimed.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun, unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thana Ogden Nation.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice. First
Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
Discover Rocking K, a community designed by nature, built for you. Embrace the beauty of the Rincon Mountains' high desert foothills. Explore natural open space, a network of connecting trails, and a community park. Bordering Saguaro National Park, Rocking K is conveniently located to our region's major employers and nationally recognized Vail School District. Tour 10 model homes by 4 award-winning builders and discover why more people are calling Rocking K home. LiveRockingK.com. Proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip-off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Here's a walk-up right of the lane. Works his way inside, puts it up, score it, and he's fouled. There's the strength of Tobey Owaka at 6'8", 250, and that's going to be a big strength for the Wildcats here with their size inside.
Tobey Owaka, really the only player in the non-conference or the exhibition season who dealt with any type of injury. He did not play in the St. Mary's game, but was back and did play against Embry-Riddle. We have availability reports now. We won't get those, obviously, in basketball until the Big 12 season, much like we did not get them in football until conference play started. But we'll try to keep you up to date, as we always do, on who is available and who is not. And it appears that everybody is available going into this game tonight for the Arizona Wildcats to start this season. If you want to be a sponsor for our availability reports, you can do that. Give us a call, 520-887-1000. That is the number. We've got people who want to talk some basketball today. Let's hear from our guy, Paul in Phoenix. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Hey, David, guys, how's everybody doing over there?
Doing well.
This is a great day to be a fan here in Arizona. Of course, I've got my Wildcats as priority from 5 to 7:15, and then we'll segue into the Cardinal Cowboy game after that. How about that?
I hope that goes well for you.
I hope so too. But I need your guys' help and I hope it's okay for me to say this. I've decided this year I'm going to pick a favorite player on the team. I love all the guys, but I'm going to pick a favorite player. But I honestly do not know how to pronounce his name, nor will I probably ever. But I like Ivan. How do you pronounce his last name?
It is Ivan.
Right, it's his first name.
Yeah,
Ivan.
Karchenkov.
Ivan Karchenkov. Okay, Karchenkov. That you guys, I'm telling you, Tucson. I've said it before. That kid, he's going to be our difference maker. There's something about him. I don't know. I've only seen him one time, but I'm really hoping that he ends up at sometime in early January. We're all going to be like, yep, that's him. That's the kid. That's the kid. There's something about his game. He just looks mature, and he's only a freshman. He looks mature, and I think it's something we need to really focus on. He's going to get. I'm not even sure if he'll be starting, but he's going to get starter type minutes. He will get it. I like his game.
I said I think he's the wild card in the last segment. I think that's.
I'm sorry, I missed it. I apologize.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I think he's a guy that could we on some nights we could see play a lot, and then maybe on some other nights he doesn't play much at all.
The biggest luxury that a college coach can have at this level is having versatility, right, from your players. So if you want to run Koa at the 4 and Owaka at the 5, you can go Deli outside sharpshooter at the 3, or maybe you're going to go with a little bigger lineup with Ivan Karchenkov at that spot. So again, it just depends on the matchups, the people across the way, and also how those players are flowing. I'm sure rotations will be decided and defined as we move through these first, 4, 5, 6 non-conference games. But for now, I mean, Coach Lloyd just has a luxury of a bunch of different versatile players at that 2, 3, 4 position they can mix and match.
So J-Dub, doesn't Ivan? He has an outside shot though too, right? He can hit the 3. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't think any forwards in Europe come to America without an outside shot.
Right. Kind of a prereq. Okay. So that's what we need. That would be what a bonus I mean, think about it. Get him to do some of the dirty work, do some slashing to get out there. And I don't know what his defensive skills yet. We'll find out as the season progresses. But there's something about that kid, and I think he's going to be a fan favorite down the road. They all will be. They really all will
Kelvin,
be. So I'm looking forward to it.
I got to know, Kelvin Ifan, is when he was asked, one of the first reporters asked him, what are you going to bring to this year's team? His answer was everything. I could do a little bit of everything. So whatever the coaches ask for, I'm here to bring it.
So he's kind of like a Kelvin. He's going to get the Kelvin Ifan award every game.
Yeah, we'll see. It depends how good he is on defense.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah, we got to see the defense.
That's it. He's got to play defense. He's got to play D. Guys, I'm looking forward. It's basketball season. Let's let it get started. I love it, and looking forward to seeing you guys. I'll come visit you guys on Saturday.
All right, homecoming. Appreciate that, Paul. Looking forward to that.
Take care, guys. Thanks again.
All right,
Bear down.
enjoy the game. Hope the Cardinals get that win tonight for him. All right, we were talking about the availability report, and this is something that's a little polarizing right now in college football and college basketball. And Tommy Lloyd was asked about it this week and went on at length about how he feels regarding the availability report. Let's hear from the head coach on reporting who's able to play for his team and who he believes this benefits the most.
Obviously, things get taken out of context. Here's the deal. Guys, we've seen what's happened with this gambling stuff. Okay, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox and give all my opinions on it. Okay, but I mean, why are they making people do player availability reports now all of a sudden? For the media? No. Well,
protects the players.
Well,
in the sense that
then for sure. And then let's just add more prop bets. Let's add more. I mean, because they're not protecting the players. What they're doing is they're protecting their financial interest, okay, and investment in their sports. That's what they're doing, and so they're trying to protect the gamblers. They're trying to protect the bookies. That's who they're trying to protect. You could don't put it on the players. But if they want to put it on the players, they can. That's fine. Okay, they're not. They're not. This is solely because betting sponsorship is becoming a huge part of everything, and everyone wants a piece of it. So they're trying to get more friendly for the books, the casinos. That's it. Like, there's no other way to put it. So, I mean, I'd have no problem giving a injury report. I have no problem doing it. But I think we all have to all just be honest with why we're doing it.
I mean, I think
I would literally, I have no problem. If we had a gentleman's agreement amongst coaches of calling Coach X the night before and say, hey, 13's not going to play tomorrow because he sprained his ankle. Just want to, as a gentleman, so you have a little opportunity to prepare your team. And then he tells me, hey, yeah, 12 for us is a little banged up. He ain't going to play. I have no problem doing that, sharing that information with our opponents. To me, that's a respect for competition. But that's not why we're doing it. So that's it. But I don't want to be a driving force or an opinion on this thing, guys. It's just obvious, and I just don't want the kids to get caught up in it and act like we're protecting the kids when we're not.
Have you ever sensed that from any of your players, that somebody's coming to them and saying, hey, is this guy hurt?
No.
Trying to get inside information?
Never. We talk to our guys about it all the time. No. And let's be honest. How many people sitting in those stands are betting on those games? You know how many times I've walked off a court and had somebody yell at me because we won by 17 instead of 16? Or we won by, we won by 15 instead of 20? It happens all the time. And whatever, it is part of the deal, and people have their freedoms to choose what they want. But, like, guys, you're making things incredibly difficult on these kids. And for what? So other people can make money. So that's it. That's why I don't like the player availability reports, because I know the reason we're doing them. But we're going to abide by it. We're going to follow the rules. Like, I have no problem. I'm not trying to be secretive or tricky.
Interesting. Very interesting. See, now I'm disappointed that he says that the availability report is for the gamblers. I thought that was for the media. It tremendously helps me out a lot, especially in football, when you're wondering a lot of times who's able to play and who's not able to play. But clearly it's not for the media, like he says It's for the gambler.
Is the media a $1 trillion industry in college athletics?
We are not.
No, probably
we are not.
Probably more for the betting lines, just because if you don't know if a star player is going to play, it's impossible to set a line for that. So, but I think it's both, DK. I mean, I think it can also be for the media as well. It makes our jobs much easier, but just transparency. I mean, you'd like to go into a game as a fan. I know the reason why has a lot to do with books in Vegas. But it's also, Kelvin, good for us to know going in if a player's a no-go or not, as opposed to right before the tip.
No, I totally understand for, on our side of the thing, because, we're preparing and everything, and then some surprise guys. So, you got to do a little bit more work and make sure you know about, the backup guys and everything. But I feel like as a player, I don't remember believing if the guys were hurt or not. So I always went into the game ready for both or whoever they brought in because I didn't believe them. I didn't believe their reports. Sometimes they'll say somebody was hurt, and I swear they come in and they're fresh, and they come in, their ankle is fine or whatever. So I personally never believed it. So that's why I'm a little, I'm kind of with Coach a little bit on that one, because it just feels like as far as the other teams, and Coach was saying that, he's saying, well, me and the other team coach talked about it, and they had a gentleman's agreement of, hey, this guy hurt, is that guy hurt, which that'd be funny to see which coaches tell the truth, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't see it helping the coach of the team because we're preparing regardless.
Yeah, and I think what I'm really getting at is I know that the purpose for it is for betting lines and all, Kelvin. But what about the family who drives 140 miles to see their favorite player play, right? And that player gets a last-minute scratch or whatever. Or maybe like that whole Greg Popovich situation where he knew he was holding out his star players because of a back-to-back the whole time. But I think it's important for the game. I think it's important that we know a couple of days out. Now, maybe not for these preseason non-conference games, but once you get into Big 12 play, I just think it's important for the health of the game that there's transparency and everybody's on the same page.
Let me say something to that. I respect that for sure. But let me ask you this. If a guy – so basically we have to say probable because what if some kind of way – I remember going into the Holiday Bowl. I was not supposed to play. There's no way they could have said I was going to play. But guess what? I convinced Coach at the last minute to let me play.
Yeah.
And I ended up scoring the game-winning touchdown, so I don't know what that bet would have been. That probably would have been crazy because they would have thought I wasn't playing. In some kind of way, I convinced Coach. So would there be a thing where if they said you wasn't going to play, you couldn't play at the last minute? So that's that little gray area that I'm sure that they would have to go through or whatnot. But, I was not supposed to play. My ankle was basically broken. But I limped out there anyway.
I think we all knew that, Kel. I mean, come on. We know you're not going to miss a game, especially a big game like that. But I think it doesn't have to be black and white. It doesn't have to be like you're a go or a no-go. There can be a middle ground there. Probable needs to be one of the clarifications. However, if a player like has some kind of, grade 2 ankle sprain or whatever on a Monday, I think it's important that everybody knows about that they're definitely not going. But probable is probable. I mean, there's going to be a lot of probables for sure.
All right, let's go ahead, Kevin. I'm sorry I stepped on you there.
Oh, no, I said right. No, I agree.
All right, let's find out, speaking of betting, let's find out if we can beat the book tonight.
Tucson, it's time to beat the book. Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the numbers and find out how you should bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right. Arizona enters this game as a 3.5-point underdog to start the season. 3.5 points. I'll start. I think it's hard. There's a lot of new faces on both of these teams, but you've got some veteran guys that are returning on the Florida side that have been there and done that, and obviously have a trophy and ring. I don't know if they've gotten their rings yet. I think they said that they had not gotten their rings yet. I'm going to go with Florida minus the 3.5 in this game. I think they I don't know if they're going to win by a ton, but I could see them winning by 5 to 7 in this game. So I'm taking Florida and laying the points. Kelvin.
I I think I'm gonna take the 3.5 with Arizona because I believe our guard play may make a difference, being that these guys are veteran, got a year or two under their belt here at Arizona. So I'm gonna go with our veteran and think that our bigs can neutralize their bigs and just say that, our guys are gonna be better than the guys today because they've been in the system longer.
JW Madden.
Yeah, I agree with Kelvin. I think you think of Florida, you think of their front line, and they're going to match up with a team with just as talented and big a front line in Arizona. So there's a bit of a wash. And last year, guys, I mean, most of the games that Florida won down the stretch had everything to do with Walter Clayton Jr. I mean, every single big shot that team needed to make. And I'm not saying Boogie can't be that guy. I mean, I know they've got guys who transferred in. But here's another thing to think of. They went 13-0 to start last year. They didn't play a single ranked team in those first 13 games. Today, they're playing the 12th, 13th ranked team in the country right out of the gate, mixing in new lead guards. You're talking about can Burries be a last-second shot maker, DK, within this offense? Florida doesn't necessarily know who that guy is right now because Walter Clayton Jr. is not walking through that door. So I think with Arizona's guard play and the upperclassmen with Delly and JB especially, I like Arizona this game by 5.
All right, Arizona by 5. So will this game get into the 80s is the question. 162.5 on the over-under. Will this be a low-scoring game, or will this get up into the 80s or 90s potentially?
I'll go first on this one. I think no. I think they're both these teams are known for their defense. They're going to play really solid lockdown defense, and you might see a little nerves. You're talking about the very first game, opening season, guys in new roles, guys switching from 4 to 3. Guys being asked to do a lot more. So I don't think it's going to quite get 80 to 80, but not too much more, like 155, something like that, 150.
I agree. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, maybe 60s, to early 70s, but not enough to get up into 162.5 neighborhood. So I'll go the under on that as well. Kelvin?
Yeah, I'm going to under as well. I just believe good on good at the beginning of the year. It's going to be like some of them SEC dog fights early in the year. So, it's just going to be a grind.
All right, so Kelvin and J-Dub are taking the Wildcats and the 3.5 points. I'm laying that again with the Florida Gators. Everybody playing the under 162.5 points.
That is how you bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Graduating from high school, I realized that I didn't have all the tools I needed to help me in the next chapter of my life. The Earn to Learn program has helped me pursue my passion for early childhood education with confidence, and the financial education supported by Hughes Federal Credit Union has been invaluable to prepare me for my university career and the world beyond.
Find out how Hughes and Earn to Learn join forces to support student success at hughesfcu.org/earn-to-learn. Insured by NCUA. Certain restrictions apply.
We are the rush, the pulse, the thrill you didn't see coming. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol, where Tucson's best just got better. Join Club Soul today and get $20 free play. That's right, your first play is on us. Play, earn, and unlock exclusive rewards that take your experience to the next level. More thrills, more perks, more of what makes Casino del Sol unforgettable. We are Club Soul, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden. It's time now for us to take you down to the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Southern Arizona over 30 years.
And our view from courtside today comes from the man who called the television broadcast on ESPN Plus for the Cats' first exhibition matchup against St. Mary's. Brody Dryden joins us. He is in Las Vegas. What is it like today in the city that never sleeps, Brody?
You know, it's hustle, bustle, a lot of Cardinal red, Navy blue out on the streets, DK. And I know I'm a little bit biased, but I have not seen a lot of blue and orange. I cannot tell you that I've seen a single Florida Gator shirt here today, and I know obviously there's the people that can drive from Tucson, Phoenix. There's a little bit more West Coast fans and alumni that will lean towards Arizona here. They're used to the trip to Las Vegas from the years of the Pac-12 tournament, but I am surprised at the fact the Florida coming off a national championship. I think this is one of their first trips to Las Vegas as a program ever. Obviously, once the game starts and once we get closer to the stadium, we'll be seeing some more of that. But that's something that stuck out to me if I'm telling you what I've seen so far.
You mentioned the hustle and the bustle. It sounds like you have found the quietest place in Las Vegas. I don't hear any jangling and jingling, slot machines or any of that behind you today.
You know what, DK? I want to be a professional just for your show, and I came back to my hotel room just for this hit.
Brody, you could. I love the ambiance, man. You could have done this interview from the pool, man.
You know what? I should have. You know what? I'll head down now. I'll multitask, put some money on the roulette table while we do this.
Oh, see, there you go. You and I are running in the same game there. Roulette. That's my number one game when I go to Las Vegas, for sure. Brody Dryden is joining us. He is in Las Vegas. It's your view from courtside. Brody, you called the first game we mentioned against St. Mary's. What were your top takeaways? What stood out to you from what you saw from the Cats that night? Because again, that was an exhibition game like we've not had here in a long time, because it was against another Division I opponent, and not just another Division I opponent, but one that won a game in the NCAA tournament last year.
Yeah, I think, coming straight away after the game, obviously going in, the headline was, how are these amazing freshmen that we've heard so much hype about between Koa Pete, Braden Burries, Dwayne Aristote, and even the Bryce James hype with everything, him being LeBron's son and everyone being so excited about him. It was just, our first look at them, apart from the Red Blue Showcase, about what those guys were going to look like together on the court in a competitive setting. To me, coming away from that one, obviously, I think Koa Pete looked really good on the inside. He was really physical against some of those big St. Mary's players. That St. Mary's team, they're a perennial NCAA tournament squad. And seeing them in McHale, they're organized, they're talented, they can shoot, they have size. And I think that was a perfect exhibition to do, especially with Arizona's non-conference schedule, starting today with Florida. But I think seeing those freshmen in there prepared, synchronized, and aggressive as well, I think it wasn't a good thing that Braden Burries, and I'm forgetting if Braden Burries actually fouled out or if he was just pulled right before officially fouling out, because I know they did.
Yeah, they had extra fouls in that game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was just, seeing Koa Pete aggressive on the boards and, not afraid to attack the basket. And even though he nearly fouled out, aggressive defensively and not afraid to kind of step up and do their thing. The lights are going to be different. It's a neutral, expecting more Arizona fans to be there today. But seeing those guys perform with that aggression, and then also Mo Krivas. There's a big question going into this year. What can Krivas perform after his injury last year? And, Henry Vasar obviously stepped up in a big way, and he was really good at that center position. And that now that he's transferred away, it's Krivas coming off that injury, and he had a double-double. And, again, it's against St. Mary's. They're not going to be quite the team that Florida is today. But they had a couple of 7-footers, and yeah. I think it was really good to see him kind of get in the flow of things, show he can rebound, and I think that'll be a big story going into today's game, is how Mo Krivas can do against Florida's bigs.
We're joined by Arizona ESPN broadcaster Brody Dryden with your view from courtside. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona for over 30 years. Brody, my top takeaway from the two exhibitions has been the play of the number 2 guard in this freshman class, or the number 2 prospect, and the number 1 guard in this freshman class, and that's Braden Burries, and just his ability to show a different way of being able to score the basketball. He hit some threes in the red-blue game, which I thought was something that this team is going to need, because if there's one thing we haven't really seen is the three-point shooting being on point in these two exhibition games. Don't want to maybe get too concerned about that. Braden Burries maybe can be one of those guys that has the ability to shoot the three for you, as does Jaden Bradley. But I just love the flow that I've seen from Braden Burries, his ability to handle the ball, get to the basket, shoot the mid-range. He's going to be, to me, even more so. Obviously, Koa Pete was the highest-ranked recruit, but to me, Burries is the one that I really think could be the player that flourishes in this system.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this is going to be the first, official non-exhibition game that we haven't seen Caleb Love in a few years in an Arizona uniform. And I think, obviously Tucson loved Caleb Love, and he was such a great player in an Arizona uniform. And so how do you fill in that role? A guy that could shoot from anywhere on the court. He could drive, a very versatile player. And I think Braden Burries is going to fill some of that role. And it's tough when you go from one of the most experienced college basketball players of all time in Caleb Love to a freshman. But I think their talents are actually pretty comparable. And I think he's going to step up in that role. We'll see a lot of three-point shooting from him. And I think for Braden Burries, it's great that he's teamed up in the backcourt with a guy like Jaden Bradley, and now he's the veteran on the team, Bradley, and he can kind of take Burries under his wing, but obviously a different skill set as more of a ball handler and a playmaker. So I'm really excited to see how Burries kind of flows together. I think he's in a really good situation here with this team as Tommy Lloyd kind of blends in the experience of Jaden Bradley, Tobe Awaka, now Mo Crevis. Despite sitting on the bench with an injury last year, he's been around the game for a while. He's been in Tommy Lloyd's system. How that all blends together against a team like Florida with these freshmen, like you mentioned, Koa Pete, Braden Burries, and Dwayne Aristote. So it should be some good stuff. I'm with you, DK. It's going to be exciting to watch Burries do what he does out there today.
And probably my biggest question, Brody, at least in terms of the bench and what that's going to look like, is truly how much Evan Nelson is going to play for this team this year. I mean, incredibly intelligent young man, graduate of Harvard University, state champion at South Point Catholic High School, definitely has the skills to be in and give Jaden Bradley a blow. But again, you've got a kid in Braden Burries who can handle the ball, so Burries could also see some of those backup point guard minutes. How much do you think that Evan Nelson is going to play in this rotation?
It's a good question. And, that was a great story over the offseason, and I think a lot of people in Tucson are excited that a hometown kid, a South Point grad, and, such an interesting Harvard and then taking his grad year to come back home and play with Arizona. I'm not sure exactly how much we're going to see Evan Nelson play, but like you mentioned, it's great for Jaden Bradley, who, he's the type of guy who's got a motor that, never grows tired. He can play all, the entire game if he wants to. But Evan Nelson, I think, is a really skilled ball handler, and he's just going to be a smart guy to have out there. And, I think that's most important, especially in college basketball. Normally a backup point guard might be a freshman or, somebody without much experience that when you put them out there, it can be a wild card. And obviously you're going to have freshmen on a team. That's part of the developmental process. But when you have a senior in Jaden Bradley being backed up by a grad student that went 4 years at Harvard, I think that's a luxury I can't recall ever seeing before on a team like this. So I'm curious, like you are, to see how much, as we get out of the exhibitions and into real quote-unquote play, how much of Evan Nelson that we're going to see. But I think he should be able to carve himself out a nice role. And like if, Jaden Bradley needs to take a breather or ever goes down or something like that, I think Tommy Lloyd has a great guy to run his system and handle the ball as needed.
Arizona ESPN Plus broadcaster Brody Dryden with your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona for over 30 years. All right, Brody, what's your favorite thing to do in Las Vegas? Are you, like I mentioned earlier, are you a pool guy? Do you like to go hang out at the pool and relax? Or you mentioned you'll play a little roulette maybe? Do you like to get into the clubs and listen to the DJs? You'll just like to go eat at all the great restaurants? What's your thing?
I like to do it all. I think everything you just listed there, DK, sounds like an ideal full day and night in Vegas for me. But I'm definitely a restaurant guy. Okay. I feel like Las Vegas is, a hub of some great cuisine, and you stay on the Strip, and you could walk 10 feet and go by a Thai place and then an amazing steakhouse and then, find a Whataburger next door to that. So I just love all the food here. We've been eating good in Vegas. I don't know if you've ever been to Din Tai Fung at the Aria.
Okay.
But it's a Thai place and has some really good food. And it was my second time going yesterday and had a great time there. But yeah, there's so much to do. That's one thing. It's a shame that obviously there's no Pac-12 tournament anymore, and it's great that Arizona is doing what they can to schedule more events in Las Vegas because it's just such a great stop for fans. And I think the team enjoys it. It's just great entertainment. It adds to sort of the hype, the ambiance, the bright lights. It's a really fun time being here, and you can tell, the Wildcat fans are here to party. They know what they're doing. They're well experienced, and I've been seeing a lot of them out here. So it should be a rowdy T-Mobile arena coming up this afternoon.
There we go. All right, Brody, we'll enjoy it. Let's see if what the Wildcats have against the reigning national champions tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks, DK. Talk soon.
That is Brody Dryden, ESPN Plus Arizona announcer with your view from courtside.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Southern Arizona for over 30 years.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Did you spend money on your AC this summer? My friends at Rightway will give you back up to $3,000 for those repairs.
That's right. No matter who did the repair, we'll buy it back for up to $3,000 towards the purchase of a new heating and air system.
No repair bills this year? No worries. Get 0% financing and no payments for 18 months. $3,000 trade-in for your old AC. 10-year parts and labor warranty. Plus a free system upgrade.
Have an aging heating and air system out of warranty? We'll inspect it absolutely free. Call Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today. 520-201-8220.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. November is here, and if you've got holiday travel plans or you're just trying to cross town through the crazy road construction, Jack Furrier has great news with our biggest rebates of the year. Get back $160 to $220 on all Michelin brand tires, including smooth riding, long-lasting Michelin Defender 2. Check out jackfurriers.com for even more November specials. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the local choice with great service and 14 award-winning locations. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960. We're here to get you there.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Hi, I'm Lisa Chastain. No one should go hungry, especially at Thanksgiving. That's why Gospel Rescue Mission is hosting our annual Thanksgiving Blessings event. Join us on Wednesday, November 26th for a home-cooked Thanksgiving meal. Also, clothing, haircuts, additional resources, and life-changing opportunities. Celebrate the holidays with us, because Thanksgiving is better when we share it together. Visit grmtucson.com to learn more.
We are the rush, the pulse, the thrill you didn't see coming. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol. Now to December 28th, Club Soul members can strike it rich. Rush in for the $100,000 holiday gold rush. Join Club Soul today and get $20 free play. That's right, your first play is on us. Play, earn, and unlock exclusive rewards. We are Club Soul, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
All right, final segment of our show here. We had our guy in Jersey, Fred Scheib, check in a little bit earlier on the text groove, and he was talking about the block by Nick Johnson. So this was actually back in 2012. Let's relive that.
To give yourself time for an offensive rebound and maybe the foul again. Arizona leads by 1. Here come the Aztecs. Tapley drives, swatted by Nick Johnson. It is over, and Arizona has won the championship of the Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic.
I believe that's our boy Roxy Bernstein on the call there. So that game was not against Florida, Fred. That was in Hawaii. It was at the Diamond Head Classic, the championship of the 2012 Diamond Head Classic in the 12-13 season. That game was on Christmas Day, 2012, but it was against San Diego State that Nick Johnson had that big block back in 2012. Either you guys remember that game at all? After I saw the video, I remembered it.
I do, because I remember that the Aztecs had Arizona's number prior to that game.
Yeah, there were some tough games in that series. I'd like to see if we could get them back on the schedule a little bit more frequently.
You know, Kelvin, the Arizona Wildcats could never quite figure out Kawhi Leonard. That was the issue. Right before that.
No, because he was playing the 4, undersized 4.
Yeah, I think he went 3-0 versus Arizona in his time there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's interesting because obviously we've got keys to the game coming up in this final segment. We've also got our starting lineup, and we were just talking in the break. Who is going to be the starting lineup for this team to begin this season? One person who's not concerned about that. I told you before, Tommy Lloyd is not concerned about anything. He's not concerned about whether or not his team will be able to shoot threes this year, and he is certainly not concerned about who his starting 5 are.
Well, I'm going to figure it out this weekend with the staff. But I've told you guys, and you guys, I know you guys, I mean, it makes it more concrete and it feels better for you guys, but it's just not how I operate. Like, we're a team that we really don't care about the starting lineup. We're going to figure out a rotation. We're going to figure out a rotation that we feel like makes the most sense. We're going to figure out a rotation we feel like puts guys in the best position to be successful. And you know what? I always feel it's a luxury to have 7 starters. If we're sitting over there arguing over splitting hairs over something, that's a good thing. That means you have good players, and I feel like we're in that situation. This game, it's an emotional game with a lot of random events. I can go in with a script, but what if the situation calls for something different than the script, and then I'm tied to the script? So, of course I'm going to have a base plan we work off of, but like I said, it's the first game. And we're just going to get a feel for how things go. And the 5th, 8th, 12th game, things could look different, as it plays out over the course of time.
All right, so we believe we know at least 4/5 of the starting lineup to this point. We will get to that coming up here a little bit later, but it seems to be that there's still a little bit of question about who maybe the fifth guy was going to be, and guys, it's kind of sparked some debate on how this rotation will look, what some of the best matchups are this rotation. Do you put Toby Awaka out there? Do you put Toby Awaka and Moteus Krivas out there together? Do you potentially start Awaka at the 5, go play maybe a little bit smaller and bring Moteus Krivas in off the bench? There's a lot of different combinations that Tommy Lloyd has at his disposal. Do you guys favor any of those rotations?
I don't know yet.
Well, I'll first say this. The guys care who start. Let's just say that. As a coach, yes, you would love to have 8, 9. Well, you know what? I don't even want that problem of having 10 guys that could play a lot of minutes, because I'm telling you, it's a headache when you're in tight games and can't get those guys in. You get a million calls from agents and everything else. But anyway, I just feel like that. No, he has so many different lineups that he could go to, and it's going to be on the maturity of the players on how they handle getting taken in and out. The good thing about Awaka and Krivas, both of those guys, Krivas has missed time. Walker has came in and out depending on situations, as far as last year playing, whether we played quick teams or shooting teams. So I think those guys could be flexible. But, yeah, man, the players always care who the starters are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't care. And the big thing that Kelvin said right there is, do the players care? Because if the players who are at 6, 7, 8, 9 on the bench, right, who aren't getting the starters, aren't getting announced by the PA announcer, if they're pouting, DK, if they're like, I'm not bringing as much energy because I didn't get one of the 5 star, that's a big, big problem. However, and we saw that, what was that, like 4 years ago? They did the starting lineups for that 3-game preseason tournament, and then they switched the starting lineups. Wasn't that Seth Henderson came off the bench because he wasn't a starter?
Right.
Mixing things up this early in the season when you've got so many new pieces in the rotation, if you have a solid 4 or 5 returners that all started last year, it's really, Kelvin, like you've got your spots. Come kick me off the mountain. But this year, guys, I mean, there's enough new players coming in, and with Moteus Krivas not playing most of last year, it's going to be very interesting early. But to me, DK, it's just matchup based. I think if you're talking about 6, 7 guys who could start, we may see a shuffle in the starting lineup 2 months from now that has nothing to do with players not practicing well or playing well in the previous game. It may just be matchup based because they have different options to go a little bit bigger, a little small, a little more athletic.
All right, let's find out what the Wildcats have to do to win this game tonight against the Florida Gators.
Cats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
Well, guys, one of the things that I talked about at the beginning is my concern. My biggest concern is the 3-point shooting. But the caveat to that is that I think this team, and I said about Burries and his mid range, but I also think that Delhi has shown a much better ability to shoot the ball inside the 3-point arc as well this season. And so we might maybe see a little bit more of that this year with the guards, maybe not necessarily outside the arc, but more inside the arc shooting from the mid-range. And so I think if you're going to do that, obviously you're going to need to shoot the ball pretty well, 50 to 55% in that respect from your guards, in order to offset maybe the fact that you're not going to shoot a lot of 3-pointers. I mean, again, they shot 13 and 16 in the 2 exhibition games. Will that number grow? Remains to be seen. The huge concern is obviously the talented front court for this Florida team. And so I think that's where Toby Awaka is going to have a much bigger role this year than I think we even had last year. What he averaged 8 and 7 or 8 and 8 last year. I think Toby Awaka has to take that next step to being a double-double guy. I don't know that it's going to be the 18 and 14 that we saw against Embry-Riddle, but if Toby Awaka can be a 12 and 10 type guy, I want to see improvement and bolstered numbers on both of those sides for Toby Awaka moving forward. So he's going to be a key piece for this team. And the veteran point guard I mentioned, I think, is the glue that's going to kind of meld this all together. Jaden Bradley. I'd like to see him kind of start this game out, be a high assist guy, get 5+ in this game, take care of the basketball, 0-1 turnovers for Jaden Bradley. That's what I want to see in terms of him as he begins his senior year leading this Arizona Wildcats club.
K-Rock?
I think the biggest thing when you're playing a team like these early in the year, when you might have the jitters and guys that miss shots, I think all 5 guys have to crash on the defensive end. I think they do a great job of crashing. They'll go over your back. They'll knock you down. They'll do whatever they have to do to get to the basketball. I think our guys are going to have to really dig in and fight and make sure that we don't give them second chance opportunities. I think the guards are going to have to be aggressive early scoring. I think that they're going to pack the lane with their bigs, which is going to cause a log jam in the lane. So you're right. You got to get to that pull-up jumper. Got to get in transition and try to get some easy buckets early to kind of get us going offensively. And then the last thing for me is I think we have to take care of the ball. You don't want to turn over the ball and give them easy opportunities to score. So I think we need to keep it early in the year with so many freshmen right now. I'm going to say under 14.
Yeah, great points. I think for me, number one, you got to keep Boogie Fland out of the lane. He's a guy who showed at times last year with Arkansas that he can really make things go, can really quick, twitchy kind of athlete. You get a guy like that in the paint, and with that front line for Florida, that could become a long night. So keep him in front. I'd like to see 5 or less field goals in the paint from Boogie tonight. That'll mean you're keeping him out of there. Number 2, like you guys both said, I mean, Florida's known for their front line. Arizona's got a pretty damn good front line as well. So I'd like to see Arizona impose their will, group rebound, like Kelvin just said right there. Florida's going to crash a bunch of guys. I would like to see Awaka and Krivas both with 8 to 12 rebounds, and Koa Pete with 8 to 10 rebounds as well. All 3 of those guys imposing their will on the glass. And just like Kelvin said there at the end, cutting down on turnovers, no dumb passes. I don't want to see Burries go behind the back to Koa. I don't want to see any kind of fanciness outside of showing that you can do the solid 2-handed chest pass. This is keep it simple type of game. This is not a game where you're trying to show off. And if you're out there showing off, you might find yourself on the bench, because the guys who can just keep it simple passes in that passing game, cut down the turnovers, that's going to lead to a win. You do not want to let Florida get on the wrong side of that turnover battle. That could be a long night with that front line.
All right, that's what we think the Wildcats need to do to get a win in the season opener against the reigning national champions. And your keys to the game, as always, are brought to you by Royal Automotive. All right, let's hear from the head coach, Tommy Lloyd, here. And how does he feel like his front court, which obviously will consist of Mo Krivas, Toby Waka, Koa Pete, etc., Ivan Karchinkov. How does he feel his front court matches up against this Florida Gators club?
I love our front court. I think our front court, is very well suited to play at Arizona and the way we want to play. And, I don't think we have the type of guys that are going to back down to anybody. And so, that's, Florida's got really good players. We have good players. Let's play the game and see how it goes. Maybe we'll get out there and afterwards I'll tell you I felt like we were overwhelmed. Maybe we'll play the game and I'll feel like, hey, I felt we're really comfortable with that matchup. So, we're going to play the game and we're going to see. I haven't played against them. They haven't played against us. So, I think we're going to both have to get out on the court and figure it out.
The foundation of a great basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature.
All right, this is unconfirmed. We believe we have 4 of the 5 starters for Tommy Lloyd tonight. At one guard, Jaden Bradley, 6'3" senior out of Rochester, New York. At another guard, Anthony Del Orso, 6'6" guard out of Melbourne, Australia. It's going to be a 3-guard look. Braden Burries will start at a guard, 6'4" freshman out of San Bernardino, California. The man in the middle, Moteas Krivas, 7'2" junior out of Lithuania. We do not know the fifth starter currently. I'm going to say it's going to be Toby Awaka, 6'8" senior out of Hyde Park, New York. Could also, though, be Koa Pete, 6'8" freshman out of Chandler, Arizona. I think that's going to be the decision that they're making there between Tommy Lloyd, Jack Murphy, TJ Benson, Brandon Chappelle, and Ken Nakagawa. Who's going to be that starter at the big forward? Since we have a few minutes, or just real quick, guys, Awaka or Pete? I say Awaka for the defense.
I say Awaka because he's a veteran and he earned that right. I think the young guy, I haven't been to the practice, so I don't know if who's been winning that battle. But from what I've seen from the past year, Awaka.
Yeah, it's the biggest front line in America, one of the biggest front lines in America and Florida. So I think you go with the bigger Awaka, but Pete's going to play 25, 30 minutes in this game.
All right, thanks to Chris Berry. Thanks to Brody Dryden. Coming up next, number 13, Arizona. Number 3, Florida. You'll hear it right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290. We'll talk to you after the game. Bear down, Arizona.
Looking for quality windows without the wait? Come to the Window Depot. We carry a huge selection of Milgard windows, in stock now and ready for pickup. Need something custom? No problem. From new construction to full home replacement, we'll help you order the perfect Milgard windows built to fit your space, style, and budget. Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, the Window Depot makes it easy to get the windows you need fast. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you and see why we're your Milgard window experts.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
My family was having significant challenges, so I dropped out of high school. I returned to school as a computer science major to support my family. And Earn to Learn and Hughes Federal Credit Union helped me get back on the right track, teaching me to be responsible with my money and planning for my future. Learning about the credit union difference gave me the life goal to never bank anywhere else.
Find out how Hughes and Earn to Learn join forces to support student success at hughesfcu.org/earn-to-learn. Insured by NCUA. Certain restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Done Right Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, choose a genuine local Tucson company, Done Right Services. With decades of trusted experience and upfront pricing, Done Right Services treats every customer like a valued neighbor. From upgrades to urgent repairs, our licensed professionals deliver quality, care, and craftsmanship you can count on, getting it done right. Call Done Right Services today at 520-369-3966 because you deserve it done right.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the ghost pepper challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call Blue Sky Pest Control today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Little jumper in the lane, rolls in for two, drives into the lane to the bucket and good.
It's good with one on the shot clock.
Down to 5 seconds, that's it. Wildcats are headed to the Elite Eight on Saturday.
Dreams can come true. Arizona has won the national championship.
When it comes to basketball, nothing beats Wildcat basketball. Stay tuned for the fast breaks, blocked shots, and big buckets as Arizona Sports Enterprises brings you University of Arizona Wildcat basketball.